Can y'all hear me now? Well, I was on mute the whole time and didn't even know it. Can you hear me now? No? Can y'all hear me now? Yes. And now I'm hearing an echo for me too. Hold on, let me just see. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Because why am I hearing? I'm hearing myself in the background. Maybe I got my video in the background. Hold on, y'all. Yes, I do. That's why. Y'all, it's been so long. It's been so long since I've been on live. That's why. That is why. I don't forgot how to do it. So y'all can hear me now. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is 100 of y'all in here right now. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button for me real quick. Do it real quick because y'all know what we're gonna do. Y'all know what we're here for. I know a lot of the conversation has been quite interesting for me to watch. And I want to state this because I do believe a lot of people aren't seeing that two things can be true. And that's my that's where I stand in summary is that two things can be true. I can see a lot of what's been popular, but I can also see a lot of what's unpopular. And I'm gonna give these time I might need a why you say that? Why you say that? But I see things from a perspective, and I take it. That's the thing with me, y'all. I feel like y'all know who I am by now, by the way that I analyze shows, especially this season. I try to look at things from what I can see myself, and that's basically how I'm going to watch this. And I'm going to give recap. I'm going to give commentary as we watch this. We're going to watch this interview all over again, and I'm telling you. And I don't like to hold on, y'all. My sister about to walk in here and my dog is barking. Hold on, y'all. Let me y'all thumbs up the video real quick. Leave y'all comments in here real quick. I'm gonna make sure she get in here so the dog don't start barking. Hold on. All right, y'all. I'm back. All right. Let's see. Ace annoyed me so bad. Now people are attacking Shelly for no reason. And this is what I'm gonna get. That's what I've been talking about this morning, or at least all day today. When I state like the stuff that I've seen for the last 48 hours, essentially, that's really been concerning me is the fact that all of this has turned from Ace and Nick's issue, which we're gonna get into it because Ace, him coming for Nick, he then brought Alandria into the crossfire. But not only that, it's now turned a lot of people online into turning Alandria and Shelly against each other. Which I'm like, where do we lose the plot? Because our whole objective, the latter half of this season, was protecting those black women. And it's like now we're trying to put them against each other. And that's what's disheartening. That's what's disheartening for me, is how the conversation has now turned into let's get them against each other. Landry don't need to be friends with Shelly. Shelly don't need to be friends with her. I'm like, where did we get lost here? Like that's what was tripping me up. The sound going in and out. Can you hear me better now? Not a toxic one. We're not the virus. All right, logical. We are. He's been trying to tear Shelly. And that's what I'm talking about, LaDonna. That's what I've been seeing a lot of that. Catch me up. I ain't even started yet, so we about to get into it. I'm not surprised by his interview. I've clocked him since the beginning. Man, see, I pray Landry and Shelly are protected. This is the last thing. Exactly. And that's my whole thing. That's my biggest issue. That is my biggest issue is that it's turned into that. I've seen a lot of people online saying stuff that you can tell they've been dying to state about Shelly. It's like, so what did you always want to state this and you just felt like now is the reason to do it? He just needed to own his actions. Yeah. It's starting to get real jobless. Hello, that's what I said. The grass is outside for a lot of people to touch, and that's the thing that I feel like a lot of these people, I feel like they're looking at these relationships and are fantasizing and seeing themselves and living vicariously through them. That's what it is. I feel like some people don't know how to step back and just see it for what it is, and stop trying to force narratives on what is actually there. But since I got a lot of y'all in here right now, we're not gonna waste no time. We're gonna get into this. I'm about to share this video. I'm about to share this screen. We're about to watch this. And as things happen, I'm gonna drop well, I'm gonna talk about it, but I want y'all to drop y'all's comments down here below as well. But like I said, if you haven't already, thumbs up the video. And stay in that chat. Stay in that chat. We're about to get into it. So let's go. And y'all let me know if y'all can hear it first and foremost.
What's going on, guys? I'm Speedy, and today I am joined by the ringleader himself.
Before we get into it, can y'all hear it? Can y'all hear it? Let me know. I don't know if I want it to be super big. Hold on, where y'all at? Y'all talking. Y'all ain't telling me if y'all can hear it yet. Okay, I see the yeses. Okay, it's all Ace's fault. Blame Ace going against the most popular couple in the brand. Chelley and Ace are bigger hate train. How did Chelley do that though? That's what I'm saying. Y'all lumping them together. Are you actually making it? Yeah, this is live. This is live. Ace proved himself to be a real hater. He was lying most of the interview. Was he though? And was he really lying most of the whole interview? We'll get. I feel like Ace defended a lot more than Nick did in the interview alone. Maddie, I agree with that. We'll get to it. Also, I'm for Olandria, not necessarily the relationship. I'm here for wherever. Nikki, me too. Me too. That is that is my perspective. Hold on. Shout out to Lillian for the super chat. Thank you. My issue is Ace should have told Olandria about Nick to her face. And that I also agree with. That we're gonna get to it when we get to it, but I 100% agree with that. I felt like he's not wrong to talk about it, but he's wrong to talk about it to who he's talking about it and where he's talking about it. I feel like the only person he should have talked about this to, if it is in fact true, is Olandria. And then the only person that should bring it to the public, if she chooses to do so, is Olandria. So that's where I feel like he was wrong. But we definitely gonna get into it. But let's go. They said blame Ace. Yeah, they did. She ain't lying. I think people believe that because it feels like that Shelley must. But that's the thing, though. People can't sit there and do that. People can't. You can't put words and you can't assume that's how she feels. Like if she didn't state it, I feel like it's not fair to accuse her of that. So that's the crazy part to me. Shout out to you, Jay Lee. The problem with Ace is Olandria said on the Modern Love podcast that speaking on Nick and her relationship hurts her. Okay, I didn't even see that, but I wonder if he saw it. But then again, too, he's friends with her, so he should know. But we'll see. All right, yeah, let's go. Let's watch it. We about to get into it.
Man, what's up, y'all?
Ace is in the building. What's up, bro? How are you?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. I'm finally decided I can do some interviews of my own. You know, I know a lot of people have been popping it. And
Yeah.
I'm excited to really get to the bottom of shit around here. So
I feel like you haven't done an interview yet. Like I've seen you do like little
Yeah.
one-off things, right? Like you did like a Vanity Fair with a bunch of Islanders. You did like some GQ shit. And when you came out the villa, you and Chelley did like some Zoom stuff.
Yeah.
But you haven't yet like sat down with somebody and spoke. Why? Why is that the case?
For me, it was important that I didn't do another interview before coming to you. I know a lot of people had a lot to say instead of seeing through a lot for what was showing. You know what I mean? So I really wanted to take my time, come out the villa, enjoy my time with family because I haven't seen them for a while, spend time with friends, and obviously spend time with Chelley because for me, going on to the show was about finding love, not finding clout. Right. And I felt like a lot of people, when they came out, it was about taking advantage of their 15 minutes of fame. And respectfully, I ain't show up for that.
Now, what he just said there, do y'all feel like that's a lie? Because I don't. I feel like what he just said is about a lot of people coming out and finding clout and stretching their 15 minutes. I do believe that to be true. Like, there's a lot of instances where you look at how certain people moved outside of the villa when they got out the villa, seeing how social media responded to certain things. They then catered their responses to certain things. They then started to feed into certain narratives. He's not lying about that. He's not lying about that.
I like that. I mean, look, I think you were definitely a little more intentional with your rollout post-show, right? Like we saw content on your own terms. Like you dropped like a little vlog thing at an amusement park. You dropped like a little freestyle. You dropped, but it was like here and there. Whereas it seemed like a lot of people were on live every night. A lot of people were like on every podcast and excited about it. And so I do respect the way you went about it. And I'm honored that you would come here.
Nah, man, I'm honored, man. Like you've been a real model for me, even just, you know, before the villa. I used to watch your content, man, and you really get to the nitty gritty of questions, and I respect your journalism for real.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate those words.
Yeah.
But now you're here, and now we're about to do it.
Shit, man, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. I think it's funny because you
trying to jump the gun, Nikki. We're trying to get to it. I feel like You feel like Nick has been the most consistent. We'll get to it when he says it. Because I disagree, honestly. I do. And that's why if y'all been watching me since the beginning of the season and watch me all the way through, I've highlighted when it happened. That's why I state what I state when I say I feel like people are overlooking things. There are things that literally happened on the show that I feel like nobody is addressing when it comes to his actions. I guess I'll say it now since we're talking about it. The reason why I feel like a lot of the things he's gonna state about Nick, I do believe to be true. And it's not even the Nicolandria part. It's Nick as Nick. I do feel like Nick is performative. I feel like Nick he does things for people's approval. And I feel like it's not just performative. I feel like he's a people pleaser. I feel like as we've seen throughout the season, as we've seen after getting out of the villa, he's very, very much on social media. He's always on social media. And it's not a bad thing to interact with your supporters, but I feel like a lot of the things are skewed towards what he sees as popping. Him coming out the villa, we're gonna get to it though. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. Let me see what y'all saying before we get back into it, because I don't want to. And Nick doesn't stand on anything publicly, especially in solidarity. Don't disagree with that. You also liked Amaya though. I did. I did, but I don't like her anymore. Y'all, if you watched my reunion, you would know. Because I didn't like how she acted. I don't like how she acted. It was very performative on that reunion. And I talked about it in my recap how her and Bryan's whole situation. And y'all know I was very much a fan of them and I wanted them to actually go far. Y'all told me a million times they were scamming me, and I was like, okay, if they are, they are. I came around to see it for sure. And it was clear they were BSing on that reunion about, oh, well, we got over it and he didn't cheat on me. We all knew he cheated. And you could see through how Amaya was acting that entire reunion. She was performing. The smiles were fake, the laughs were fake, how she's around Huda. That, and like a lot of y'all have said, she's the likable version of Huda. Like she's just the more likable person, but she's no different than her. And I agree with that. So I did like her, but now I see her for who she is for real. They are. You are 100% correct. All three of them are, which is why I'm like, but why are we caping so hard for Nick when he's no better than the other two, if you're asking me? You're right. He's benefited from the halo effect. I like Nick as a person, but he likes being everyone's friend. And you got to watch out for people like that. A friend of everyone is a friend to nobody. I'm telling you. He is a people pleaser. He's no better than the other men on the show, period. Y'all praise him for doing the bare minimum because he's a white man. That's Alexis, we're gonna get into it. What don't you think is a bad thing? Being a people pleaser, I think it is. To a certain degree, it is. Like when you're sitting here, and that's what Ace is talking about. The inauthentic, what is it, inauthenticity? Not being authentic enough. When you're doing things for public consumption and for approval of the public and not being true to yourself, that is a problem. Because if I need you to stand with me in public over some shit that you know is true and you can't do it because you're scared the public doesn't like your opinion, that's not being authentic. Like me getting on here, that's why I told you I don't know if I wanted to do it because I'm like, do I even really want to get on here and state this? But then again, I wouldn't be myself if I didn't because some of my opinions are not the public's favorite. But I'm authentic. I'm myself. Whether you like it or not, I would like to hope that you would respect it. Good, he should be. As much as I like Nicolandria, I agree. I always think that Nick loves attention, and he does. All of them are always on social media, their influences, including Ace. Yes, but I will say Ace wasn't as on social media as most of the other ones were. And when he wasn't really talking about the show per se, and like pondering to the audience, pondering to the fans. Okay, let me look up too. I'm gonna just keep scrolling. He is a player, perfect time in arriving to Philly. Hey, the vegan soul. I can't fuck with Ace because he didn't protect Olandria. It's like he did, but he didn't. And I see where you're coming from with the didn't, because he did start something that could be something bad. Being a people pleaser is manipulation. I agree with that, Sarah. How's he doing the bare minimum? He's getting Olandria paid. He is getting her paid, but when it comes to my thing, because that's the thing, I like the fact that he is getting her opportunities, and it's not just him getting her opportunities too. I don't want that to come across as he's the one giving her that. Yes, he's possibly getting her in rooms to get those opportunities, but she's getting those opportunities because of who she is as well. Like, yeah, he can say, okay, well, let's get her in the shoot, but if they don't want her in the shoot, they don't want her in the shoot. They want her in the shoot because of her. But when I say the bare minimum, I feel like there's a lot of instances where, like that Kiki Palmer interview when Taylor sat out there and was pretty much talking greasy about Alandra, and he sat there and didn't say anything. That was a red flag to me. You now dating a Black woman, your responsibilities are a lot more important now. And you have to start speaking up a lot more because you have to protect her. And if you don't protect her, that's gonna look bad for you. And in my eyes, that's a red flag. But we'll get to it. Okay, y'all talking a lot. I can't get into it. Shout out to Tammy. Tammy's in the building. Exactly. She can get it on her own. Like, I don't like the everybody making it seem like he's the one doing all of this for her. And it's not. And in my opinion, honestly, he's the one that's benefiting the most being attached to her. Like the Nicolandria of it all is really Nick, the one that's really benefiting the most from it. Olandria can stand on her own and be okay. Yep. I'm not surprised no one really clocked out. He barely included Taylor in the public conversations, even though the reunions either. Mm. So you get those opportunities by herself. She's more fair. Exactly. Exactly. But let's get back.
And I knew that we were doing this, but we ran into each other at a concert.
Yeah.
And like somebody, some way, somehow caught a picture of us.
Yeah.
And then it kind of hit Twitter, and I won't say it went crazy, but you know, it kind of made some rounds.
Yeah.
Did you see that picture?
Yeah. It's funny because like usually I'm not used to that. Like going to a place and somebody's taking a little sneak picture behind the scenes and stuff like that. But I think it just alluded to the fact that we was gonna be on this couch some point in time.
And it happened.
Yeah.
They didn't know it was gonna happen. We knew.
Yeah.
But it was just funny, like that it happened in that way.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the show specifically and your time on it, I want to talk about who you are.
Yeah.
So your name is Ace, but you also have your own name tatted on your back.
Yeah.
Like, when I was watching the show, I was like, why does he have his own name tatted? What?
Yeah, man. So Ace has always been a lifelong nickname.
Oh, it's a nickname. Okay.
It's a nickname, and my mom was going to name me that at birth, but things happen, and for me, it holds sentimental value. I go by Ace, and I make sure that's important for people to know is Ace.
Ace is what your name is.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people knew you prior to Love Island because of your large presence on social media. What was it like to come into the show already having a community behind you? Because when they dropped it, like, oh, here's the Love Island cast.
Yeah.
Honestly and transparently, the only face that was familiar to me was yours.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Honestly, bro, what I'm grateful for is the community that I've, built and God has helped me build throughout this entire time in my journey. With the dancing and teaching people how to dance. Like, people think I'm just some sort of dance teacher, which is surface level. But for me, I just use my gifts to spread love and spread positivity. And that's what I built my following off of, is just.
Would this make you buy a Ridge wallet?
Sorry,
Two people
y'all.
in a Lamborghini Huracan Steyr.
Sorry. We got some ass in here.
Because you came into the villa with such a big following already, do you think there's a world in which your intentions were different from other people's intentions?
Oh Lord, yeah, for sure. Like, going into this villa, my intentions was to get to know someone through and through for them. I didn't want to ask nobody about no social media aspect of it. And when I felt like going into this villa and people were asking me, yo, what is your following? What's your following this? And what do you think is going to be outside of this? I don't feel people are there for genuine intentions, respectfully. And, coming from a person who has all the things, has the quote unquote, following, has the, I'm doing well for myself. And so I'm not pressed over a prize. But when I'm hearing people.
Do y'all feel like he's not pressed over a prize? Do y'all feel like he mad that he lost? Because I see a lot of that discourse going on. That I'm not going to fight y'all on. That I'm not going to fight y'all on. That's one of the things where I say two things can be true. Can he be stating certain things that are true and also be downplaying how he feels about certain things? Yeah. Do I feel like Ace's ego, and that's what I was talking about too when it first came out, do I feel like his ego is a little bit bothered? Yes, I do. He's a Leo man. As y'all know, I'm also a Leo. So I know typically how my kind's mindset is. I don't think that way. I'm not bothered by other people's success. That doesn't bother me. But I know many Leo men that act that way. I'm competitive too, but yeah, his competitive is a different type of competitive. I do. And that's why I see where y'all stayed. It can be a little bit of envy. Because it's like, could I want to see that for me and Chelley? But then again, it's like him and Chelley, they're getting their own opportunities and they can get them. But I feel like it's just different when it's two Black people, in my opinion. But let's keep
in
going.
those conversations, it doesn't seem genuine to me, especially when, again, I have those things. So that's not my main focus in this fella.
The reunion
Yeah.
came out yesterday.
Yeah.
When they see this, it'll probably be 2 days ago. But what are your thoughts on the reunion? Just surface level. Were you excited to go do it? Did you not want to do it? What were your thoughts on how you were portrayed throughout it?
Honestly, I didn't want to do the reunion, you know. But the only thing I wanted to do was, you know, look at people in their face and tell them my issues I have with them, clear some things up, and really stand on business. Throughout the entire time at the reunion, I feel like things still didn't, you know, make the cut of, you know, certain conversations that I had, clarification, and that is what it is. But honestly, bro, just being at the reunion, it was a little bit hard for me because, you know, I face, you know, anxiety, you know, especially being up inside the villa, and, you know, people are like, oh, why is his voice a little shaky? Because honestly, bro, it's hard, like, dealing with it. Like, I felt some sort of depression, like, coming out.
And this I do want to talk about too, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, he's jealous and he don't like being liked or not being liked by the public. While that can be true, listen to what this man just said. While all of that can be true, he might be upset that he's not getting popularity and stuff. This man just expressed that he's having mental issues himself. And I feel like a lot of people aren't paying attention to that. And I feel like with a black man being able to realize that, speak that, and vocalize that, that should be paid attention to, in my opinion. Did he do something else later that could also trigger somebody else's mental health? Yes. But I do feel like that should be taken into account too. Because I feel like a lot of that makes sense. Because his voice was definitely shaking at that reunion. And we all know he ready to call somebody out. So you can tell it's a different level of hurt for him. Where that hurt is coming from, I don't know, but it's there. So I wanted to highlight that too. I feel your friend. Yeah. And I always feel a level of empathy for somebody that expresses he has a loyal black fan face. He just didn't crossover. I always feel a level of empathy for somebody that experienced depression because I've experienced it. I've experienced it too, and it's not easy. And when you feel like you got the weight of the world on you too, that shit is hard. And I feel like a lot of people ain't really paying attention to that. Most of these contestants have. And like that's like with Aaron too. Y'all know if you've been watching me since last season, wasn't a fan of him, still ain't a fan of him. But watching the whole season of Beyond the Villa, the way that man was depressed the entire time, you could tell he was depressed. It was just sad to watch. And then to see how Kaylor continue to do things, try and rile him up, knowing and seeing that he's clearly depressed, that was weird to me. And it's like, yeah, he did her dirty on the previous season, but that man is depressed. Leave that man alone. Like it's weird. It's weird. But let's get into this.
Because I'm such a positive person. I'm such a happy, you know, loving person that I'm trying to spread that to everybody else, and to see that I was portrayed as something as the opposite of who I am as a person. It's tough to deal with, you know? And that was my only fear going into this villa was, please just don't make me look like I'm just some evil ass nigga, respectfully. And
do you feel like that's exactly what happened?
Honestly, yeah, you know, and it's okay, because at the end of the day, I know who I was, and the Islanders who were there knew who I was too. And then to come home and see I was called everything but the child of God, it's a little tough, you know. Sure. But
my work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my.
What have y'all seen anything super wild for Ace when it comes to like what they've been calling him? I feel like most of what they've been, what's up, melted dark chocolate? I feel like most of what they've been calling him is the ringleader and making him out to be the villain of the show. Which, I mean, him being the ringleader, he definitely was. Like, is it his fault though that everybody else fell in line? No. Like, that's not his fault. But did he have control over that house? Absolutely. We all saw it. Like, a lot of people listen to what he stated. He was regulating shit on that show, like he was on the show that I cover. If y'all don't watch Big Brother, he was. He was. Can I be mad at him for that though? Not really, because if everybody else wants to follow suit and do what he tells them to do, or at least throws them in the direction to do, that's y'all's fault. But what he's stating later on, if y'all did that, stand on that when you get out of here. Don't try and sit here and make it seem like it was just on me. Y'all are grown. Y'all did it too. I didn't force you to do it. But hold on, it's muted. Hold on.
One room at the reunion. For me, I said the things I needed to say to certain people while everybody was in one room at the reunion. That's what I cared about. It wasn't for how the reunion was going to be portrayed. Here is where I really get my shit off, and really what I say is what I say, and what I meant is what I meant, and ain't gonna be no chopping screw shit around here.
Well, here's your opportunity to be real. Let's talk about your time in the villa.
Right.
Day one of the show, if I'm remembering correctly, you walk in with Nick, you're wearing a suit, like you was like tailored up. What do you remember about day one walking into the villa? Were you nervous, excited?
Going into this villa, you know, I'm seeing a bunch of beautiful women here. I'm like, okay, You know, these women are here for a reason. I'm here for a reason. Let's truly get to know somebody for them. You know, regardless if 1,000 cameras are looking at us, I want to get to know somebody. So that's what my intent was going into this villa and really just deep dive into people, because I'm a people person. Like, I love getting to know people and why they were raised the way they were raised, the trauma that they had in 5th grade. I want to know it all.
And so you walk out, you see Chelley for the very first time.
Yeah.
You guys kind of cleared it up on the reunion, but you guys knew each other kind of in passing. Like, you may have met once or twice and then exchanged each other on social media, but you never really knew each other for real.
Right. So basically, let me explain the story with that. It's like, we had met through social media type of thing, but don't nobody really know anybody through social media. So boom, she's outside the club. I recognize her from social media. I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, how you feeling? Like, you know what I mean? I'm chop it up with her real quick. And, you know, I got the number, or not the number, but I got the Instagram and shit like that. I was like, yo, nice to meet you. I hope to see you again type of thing. Boom, time goes on. You know, she'll post a picture. I'll slide up on the story with a hard eyes. You know, she'll post something. I'll comment on it. Or just to be funny, I'll go comment on something from 2-3 years ago, some shit like that, just to, you know, fake flirt. But
now, do y'all think that's a coincidence, though? Because if they have that much of an interaction on social media, do you think producers are like, okay, they follow each other. Yeah, I can see him in her likes a lot. Let's push him all the way through. He had a big following going into the show. I don't know if Chelley had a super big one. I know she had a decent one, but it wasn't like nothing to what she has now. Do y'all think? But then again, like, you look at him, he's got a big following. You look at her, she's drop dead gorgeous. She would be put on TV because she's pretty. Like, that's that you should always gonna win when you are that beautiful. Like, you always gonna be top priority. You could be boring and still be that beautiful and still get cast on the show. Do y'all feel like that was? It ain't. I don't think they orchestrated that because they don't have the ability to put themselves on the show. But do y'all feel like producers definitely saw that and was like, let's really try and make that happen? He can not even no shade, even if the relationship is fake. Ace and Chelley were on TikTok live this year's Valentine's Day. That would align with it, though. Didn't they meet last year? It's funny to people right there that these two is financial broker. Right. He definitely over-explained himself there. Other people from the season knew each other. Exactly. That's the thing too. A lot of them knew of each other, at least knew of each other. His story changed about how they met. Producers look through good-looking people's followers. That is true. I can see that. His story changed. And what about them being on lives in 2024? Isn't that when they said they met, though, in 2024? They met last year. Still clear that they met in 2024. She doesn't know. Yeah, he could have went back and liked pictures, like they stated. They both said that they met in 2022. Did they really? Somebody fact check that. Did they really state that in the Essence article? Like, the other guys in Toby and Georgiou were getting hate because they couldn't date. And that's the crazy part with that. With Love Island games, like, they literally all have been on the show. Like, they've been on Love Island before. So that wouldn't be shocking. I don't know why people would be upset, but somebody say yes. Okay.
Obviously, it wasn't gonna work. She was in Florida. I was, or New York, whatever she was. I was in LA. It is what it is, you know? So just to walk in there and see her, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, we here at the same time. Like, and it's crazy because we done both went through a bunch of interviews. We done went through the Zoom calls, all that shit. Like, being through that's the case, or being that that's the case, I know for a fact when I see her, I was like, oh, I already know the internet gonna have something to say. Like, outside of shit, like, oh, I already follow her. I already know I'm on all of her comments and shit like that. I'm like, I already know how Love Island fans get, like, being super adamant on trying to, you know, FBI some shit, you know. But I was ready for it.
This game, you're not
in the beginning, the first couple of days. What did you notice about the interactions that the guys were having with the girls? Were they pulling girls for chats, or was it kind of like reserved? Like, what was the energy?
For me, I was in there hooping, respectfully. Like, I was up there putting numbers, getting to know everybody, and the girls were complaining to me. They came up to me talking about some, yo, Ace, the guys ain't pulling us for chats, the guys ain't, you know, stepping it up and shit like that. And that's when I had encouraged all the dudes, like, yo, get to know everybody, explore. Like, the girls are saying, like, y'all ain't doing enough. Like, y'all need to step it up. And then
that is true, and we all know that because y'all remember at the very beginning of the season, Ace was really the only one that was really putting in effort. Like, Ace was the one that was actually trying to be creative, thinking of things to make the women feel special. Well, with the women, Chelley at the time. Was it just Chelley at the time? But yeah, regardless, like, he was thinking of dates and stuff. The rest of them dudes didn't know how to court them women, and that was the problem.
And, you know, I remember when I was the person to be kissed the most at the first round, they was like, yo, all the fellas was like, yo, Ace, you group leader this, group leader that. And I'm like, yo, chill, you know what I mean? Chill. You feel what I mean? It's like, okay, I understand the whole group leadership, but it's like, it's not that. Like, I want everybody to get this full experience throughout this, entire time in the villa. So when the girls told me that, that's when I, implemented the whole explore thing and get everybody going.
Gotcha. So it's really thanks to you that like the men started kind of getting in there with the ladies. Yeah. Before that, it was interesting. Yeah. So then you couple up with Amaya. One of the first conversations you have after that is like, hey, just to let you know, transparently, I'm still going to explore my other connections. I encourage you to do the same. Yeah. Amaya's initial reaction was like, yo, you could have said that to me tomorrow. It's giving player vibes. Yeah. What did you feel when she said that?
First things first, let me just say I love Amaya, and I see that she wears her emotions on her sleeve. What a lot of people didn't get to see within our very first conversation, she had expressed some of the traumatic experiences she's dealt within relationships. And of course, I want to be there for her and lend my shoulder to her to, cry. Obviously she's a sensitive gangster and everybody loves her for being a sensitive gangster, but it's a lot for me to take on at once because at the end of the day, I'm still trying to find love. I'm still trying to find a romantic partner. And I'm looking at a person who's going through the healing process of putting herself out there as well. So being that that's the case, I just wanted to make things clear to her because we're about to sleep in the bed together, respectfully. Right. You know what I mean? Like, Love Island is Love Island, but to me, I'm going to be ace until the day I die. So I don't care if we're on Love Island. I want to make sure ground rules are set. So that way you don't cross the boundary and I don't cross your boundary. So we don't even go down that route. And, what they didn't get to see is the conversation that we talked about regarding those traumatic experiences. Every time she's cried through our conversations, they copied and pasted the clip of her crying to me telling her about my boundaries. It wasn't about the conversation that we did have.
What do y'all think about that? Because I saw something on, I want to say it was TikTok of Austin pretty much stating like she was cussing him and Zach out and calling them bitches and shit too. What do y'all think about that? And do y'all believe it? I believe Ace. In that instance, I do believe it. Considering how certain things were definitely chopped and screwed. And I'm gonna even state that when it comes to like the Olandria stuff. Y'all know that was my biggest frustration with Olandria in the Taylor situation is the fact that the way they edited the show, it made it seem like she was just pursuing this man that was not giving her anything. And from what we've heard from her, from them, he was like putting on this show, like really having her really think that he wanted her. But we didn't see any of that, which proves that the show is producing and really editing certain shit to fit a narrative that they wanted. So I do believe that. Right. And that's what makes people not want to do it because it's like you can't really produce, you can't get the authenticity the way it is because the producers have a narrative to push. He was right for shading Amaya, in my opinion. She didn't get enough fake flack for acting nice. Yeah, she definitely got a favorable edit. She was cussing at them and saying, yeah, to a degree, they definitely deserved it. I think it's true they edited her out. Yeah, yeah. I feel like if he really cared about boundaries, he could have chosen Chelley. That way he could have been the one to tell the story. That is true. That is true. Ace could have told Landry what was up with his homegirl. We gonna get to it. Y'all keep trying to jump the gun. Y'all know I like to go in chronological order. Why was there always the black people getting the bad edits? That's a good question, Kaya. That's a good question. Like, I believe whatever he says, prediction, yeah. If Ace would have never chosen Maya, she wouldn't have been as like this led to so much happening. That's something to talk about. That definitely shifted the tide. Because we got to see, yeah, you're right. That definitely changed everything for Maya's trajectory. Because a lot of people didn't like Amaya at that point. Still don't like her. I ain't a fan of her anymore. Like that reunion rubbed me all the way wrong. I said she was cussing them out before they got on her, and they were okay. And I can believe that. That's why they were scared of her. But let's get back in.
And it sucks that people didn't get to see that because I really was trying to get to understand where she was coming from. And for me, opening up is hard. And so I wanted to express how the emotional trauma I went through. You know what I mean? But it takes me a little bit to get there.
Sure.
So that was the whole thing regarding that.
You said you kind of didn't feel comfortable with her calling you babe and affectionate terms like that so early. Were you the only one in the villa that had concerns about her using those terms of endearment, or maybe did other people in the villa also feel the same?
Regarding the terms of endearment thing, I grew up in LA, so everybody, calls each other babe or what's up, and half of my family is Mexican, so like I grew up in Latin culture, so the whole idea of babe wasn't a problem for me. I feel like it was her trying to mark territory at that moment in time to be like, oh, this is my babe type of thing. So I'm able to tell the difference.
Now, Ace, did she or did she not tell you that she didn't mean anything by that? And if he states that he understands that, then I don't see why it was such an issue. Because didn't he bring it up multiple times? Multiple times after it had already been established that she didn't mean it in that way. I was like, I don't get that part. That part, I was like, what you talking
difference.
about? Yeah, apparently he is mixed, DH. He black and Mexican, apparently.
I feel like with other people, they felt the exact same way that she
Even though
was coming on a
Mexican
real
is not a race. Let's make that clear. That's
bit
ethnicity.
strong amongst getting to know her. And, you know, for me, I was very apparent on making it clear to her, this is my boundary and this is how I feel. Other people didn't do the same.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house.
Good Lord. Speedy trying to get a buck because you could you could strategically put ads where you want to put them,
You know
but
what I mean?
every
And
5
to me,
minutes
I
is
feel like
crazy.
that's fake as hell. Like if you gonna feel some type of way, you gonna tell all the fellas that you're not feeling this and you're not rocking with this and this is just not your cup of tea, but she's out here trying to put her best foot forward and get to know you and you're not doing the same. I can't respect that. You know what I mean? So I love Amaya and all power to her for pushing through amongst all the relationships that she's explored throughout the villa. It's just, it sucks that, you know, dudes don't have the heart to just be honest with a woman.
Sure.
You know?
It seemed on the show, and you kind of addressed it, that one of the people that you felt was like that was Austin.
For sure.
That like he would express to the fellas like, yo, I'm not really rocking with her like that.
Yeah.
But then to her wouldn't hold that same energy. Is that the
Yeah,
case?
like, see, my issue with Austin is like, he doesn't just be real about his answers and what he's feeling. And for me as a man, I can respect that. And it's funny because, you know, people are like, yo, Ace, do you have beef with Austin? Yada, yada, yada. In the villa, it wasn't no quote unquote beef because after every interaction that we would have and it wasn't a positive one, he would come up to me, yo, I just want to say, bro, I respect you. We all good. Like, just it's never that deep. It's never yada, yada, yada. But then, you know, he sneak dissing on the internet, you know, like a bitch. Like that shit is, that's not me. I'm not an internet ass nigga. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you.
Don't disagree with that. Austin, even though Austin do be saying some real stuff, which I hate. I hate when I have to agree with him. He do be saying some shit that is true. But my issue with him too, like Ace just stated, it's bitch shit. Like if you gonna say it to my face, and I want you to stand on it and state it with conviction. Like, and that goes back to the stuff with Amaya, like how he didn't keep it real with Amaya when she asked him to keep it real with her, and he wouldn't do it, and then went behind her back and told the boys how he really felt, which aligns with what Ace is stating. Like you going online talking that shit and sneak dissing me, but you can't say that shit in my face. That's why I don't like Austin either. Like apart from his political views, that alone, I'm like, yeah, he right.
On the internet. So I'm gonna see you in person and let's see if you keep the same energy. At the reunion, it was not the same energy.
Did you see some like sneak comments on the internet?
Yeah, yeah.
Was he saying things or what was the
Yeah, and even at the villa, like it would be a conversation and it's the most funniest thing in the world. Like we go back and forth and he's talking about some yo, Ace, how do you feel? So-and-so's coming back and he's 6'8", he's 6'5", or yada, yada, yada. So that's when the whole stand on business comment, we had talked earlier in that day about the whole height thing. And that's what I told him. I was like, yo, like you 6'5", I'm 5'10", how you just don't have the big enough heart to.
That boy is really bothered by that height shit. Because he always talking about the height. He really right. And he's not 5'10". He is not 5'10". Can't be. Can't be. I'm gonna give him a strong 5'6". But he's definitely triggered by that height. Shoot. Ace is the
And
truth.
say what you want to say. Like,
so that's what, so there was, okay, because that, and we'll talk about that moment later, but
Yeah.
that's a prime example of a moment to me feeling like, why is Ace talking about his height
Yeah,
right now?
yeah.
Is he trying to like, maybe he's insecure about
Right,
his height,
right,
or is he
right.
asserting some sort of dominance?
yeah,
It felt like out the blue, you say, I'm 5'10".
right.
So like,
Nah,
but there
again,
was some context.
it
behind
was some context behind that. You know what I mean? And again, not everything gets shown. Why everything don't get shown? I don't understand, but you know, that's TV at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk more about the stand-up business challenge
Okay.
in a bit, but I want to finish up with the Amaya stuff for a sec.
Yeah.
People honestly felt like you bullied Amaya. When you came out of the villa and saw that, also having gone.
Ooh, excuse me. Do y'all feel like he bullied Amaya? I don't think he bullied her. I just think he did too much on her. Yeah, that's the thing. People use bully, they use that word too freely. And it's like, do y'all even know what that word means? Bullying is like the act of harassment of somebody, unwarranted. So I don't think that's bullying. He did too much on her, but he definitely didn't bully her.
Through the interactions that you went with her in real life.
Yeah.
Was it weird to you to feel like, wait, bullying her, like that didn't match up at all to what our
Right.
actual experience was? Or did you
Yes.
feel like you were bullied?
See, coming out the villa and watching the show for the very first time, I could see how that can get misconstrued of me being bullying. But if you watch it for actually what it is, I've never once raised my voice with Amaya. I was very clear and concise on how I was feeling. And me just stating my boundary, I don't see how that can be taken as me bullying. Now, quote unquote, I've seen some of the clips to where they're taking out of context and copy and pasting into different parts to where it can make it seem like I'm talking about her. That's not the case. Like, and I've been very clear with Amaya. And it sucks that people didn't get to see a friendship that we built, because after maybe about 6-7 days after the whole babe incident, we were cool. Like we didn't both apologize to each other and both said, look, I'm sorry for the way I came off because this wasn't my intent. She was like, look, I'm sorry for the way this came off because that wasn't my intent. When we were able to build up a great friendship and to come out the villa and see her, you know, taking part of, you know, pushing the narrative that we weren't cool or like, you know, taking part of the quote unquote bullying. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't like to go back and forth with women. Like that's, for me, that's sassy as hell. But I will state my piece, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know? And being that I seen that video, I was just like, yo, I just seen you the day prior to you making this video. And it was cool, like it was no problems. So just to come out and see that, it hurt my feelings because, you know, I look at her as like a sister and we're neutral now. Like there's no beef and it's still never gonna be no beef on my end. And I know it's not on her end because we chopped it up already, but it just hurt my feelings just to see that, you know?
As the story goes,
What you trying to say? But their friendship is weird to me though. Because when he stated that too, because it's like watching the show too, whenever they had their little tip and then they got over it, they was cool for a little bit, and then he would do something that would then trigger her again. At least from what we seen, and that's the thing with the edit. It's like, was she doing something else too? But from what we seen, it was like a back and forth. It's like they cool, then they argue, then they cool, then they argue, and then they get off the show. And of course, when she's being asked about how he pretty much treated her on the show, because that was a focal point, she's rehashing it. But then again, he had a point too with the whole Alex Cooper thing. When you go over there with her, you're not really like, most people know how she gets down. She ain't somebody that you go over there just to be completely real and genuine with. She over there trying to be messy. So I see why he was mad in reference to that, but I don't know about their friendship. Their friendship is quite interesting to me. She was also confrontational, so talking to her had to be difficult. Yeah, because that whole scene on the dock when she was cussing him out and that neck was, the way he handled that was the way he should have handled it. Like, not giving her that energy back, she looked stupid. She looked stupid in that scene. All right, and she was so quick. She was so quick to respond when he stated her name on that. When they started talking about the video, she quickly responded. It was like she already knew what he was about to ask. But
you guys have this pucker or pie challenge.
Yeah.
Cierra, I thought was interesting, was asked like, who is here for clout over love? And she said, Ace.
That's rich coming from her, respectfully.
Why do you say that?
Because it's like, I feel like ever since she came out the villa, it's always been a quick little chirp of having to say something and, you know, speak on other people's relationships and speak on other people's situations, you know, coming out. And I get it, like the way she was dragged out is not the happy fairy tale ending that she wanted throughout this whole entire experience. So I can sympathize with that. But it's like, for you to say, I came in there for clout, respectfully, you didn't know who I was, like before coming into this. Like I've been on, you know, TV shows before. I've been on Jennifer Hudson. I've been on Good Morning America. I've been on like everybody's screen before. So I had all that shit. So for you to say, you know, Ace is looking for clout, you know, honestly, that just speaks to my character being in there because not once did I mention what I had before the villa. So for you to just think I was there to up my following another man on top of the man I already had, cool.
Did you get any inclination at that time that maybe she was in there for clout over love?
If you want to build an app and have no idea how to code or where to start.
Have y'all been counting this every 5 minutes, you're going to get an ad. We got a lot of ads.
Every single day. But I did feel like, you know, when she spoke, it was just very, I don't want to say rehearsed, but it's just, that's what it was to me. And, you know, and I knew she was, you know, really feeling Nick and I know Nick was feeling her. And all I could do was just support that. But for me, it wasn't that.
A lot of other Islanders have expressed that they felt like her maybe pattern of speech or the things she was saying was like kind of pre-rehearsed or calculated.
Yeah, PR.
So it's interesting to hear.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel like that. But again, that could just be her personality. And, you know, I can't even fault her for that. But to me, it's just not my cup of tea.
In that same challenge, I believe, Huda was asked which one of the Islanders is like waiting for someone else to come in. And she said you.
Yeah.
Essentially, she told you one story.
Yeah.
She told Amaya another story.
Yeah.
Did you find that Huda was dishonest throughout her time in the villa?
Oh, no, that was on Bryan, for sure. Like, when that came to be, I'm just like, okay, like, it is what it is. And it wasn't just me feeling like that. And I hate that it's going to be you know, Ace was talking about that girl. I don't want to say the name respectfully, but like, you know, it's never been that with her. Like, I feel like I've never gotten an honest answer out of her when it comes to a lot of shit. And I feel like a lot of sneak comments being made, I wasn't fucking with. So at the moment, what you're talking about with the pie or cream or whatever, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Pucker or pie.
Pucker or pie. Whatever. But when it came to the pucker or pie situation, I feel like when she was making this little slick comments the night before about, yo, Ace, I know you don't like to be touched, so give me a high five, like right before bed, knowing that me and Amaya have been arguing all day, it's not adding, you know, any type of help to the situation that I got going on right now. So boom, with her, you know, making that comment of, you know, it was all right.
Do we have 300 likes though? I don't think we do.
To kiss you than Amaya and all that. Respectfully, it's Like that shit has already been sailed. I've been over that whole situation. So the fact that you're still trying to insert yourself in everybody else's issues is pissing me off. You know what I mean? Like even Austin had felt some type of way because Huda had took his words about Chelley and transformed it into something else than it was.
And how many times does she do that? She does that all the time. She stay twisting somebody's words. Stay doing that.
And it's been.
But she'll take somebody else's words and twist it, and then she forgets what she states when somebody confronts her. Like she tried. That's the thing about that girl. She quick to try and act like she's super tough and she batty, but when somebody confronts her, y'all see how she folds. Like when Chelley and Olandria confronted her, every single time they have, she always tries to fall back and play that victim role because she knows what she's doing. But we ain't gonna talk about
There's
her.
been multiple occurrences with that, and you just gotta take that on the chin and just watch back the tapes.
People felt like Taylor led Olandria on.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who was there firsthand, did you feel that same sentiment? My dog's squirming. What's up?
And it's that shit that I be talking about. Even though what he's saying about what he gonna say later on, I have some opinions on it. But you know that man led her on because you helped him do it. And that's the shit that when y'all be clocking him on it, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna argue on that because it's true. You helped him lead her on. You wanted him on that show. And that's why you did what you did, which is why the narrative we got was what we got.
Oh,
He did.
shit. See, the thing is with that situation is, you know, Taylor had faced a lot of influences to have to be in that situation since day one. So I could understand where he was, you know, coming from. As far as Olandria, that's my dog. And I definitely can feel for her and I understand where she was coming from. And, you know, I always found myself having to, you know, help out Taylor when it comes to like putting his best foot forward to try and get to know Olandria in different ways. And as far as Olandria, I understood everything she said. And she was valid for feeling everything that she felt in that villa. And
that's my problem because she really a dog. Me, the type of friend I am, if I know something ain't, and then that's the thing. Say have I had yeah, I've had friends that actually have had a similar situation where it's not a similar situation because both of them had a little bit of an interest in each other. But say I was in that situation, if I knew one didn't feel the same way about that other one, I'm not gonna force that person to do it and then have that other person looking stupid. So if that's really your dog, you should have just cut the shit and be like, no, just be real with her. Tell her that you don't feel her like that and stop wasting her time. That's the part about Ace with this situation that I'll never get with. Cause you knew that he didn't like her and now you're on national TV and you know he doesn't like her like that. And then he's sitting here acting like he does, which is only going to make her look stupid in the end because she thinks that he does when he doesn't. And you know that, and we know that, and now you know America knows that. It's weird.
for me, I was stuck between a rock and a hard place trying to help out both of my closest friends at the time. So
because if I'm understanding correctly, Olandria is your good friend. Taylor's also your good friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much Olandria is interested in Taylor,
yeah.
And you know how much something or someone or whatever is influencing Taylor to want to be with Olandria. Am I interpreting that correctly?
Yeah, definitely. And I know Olandria definitely really was trying to get to know someone for them. And it sucks that she had to deal with that and get the shit in the stick of that whole entire equation. But
why did she get the shit in, Ace? Like, y'all contributed to that. Like, because things could have been so much more different if Taylor would have been real with her and Ace wouldn't have kept trying to force Taylor to force himself to like Olandria when he didn't. Because Olandria would have then realized, okay, he don't see it for me. And she probably would have opened herself up more. Y'all Nicolandrians, it could have happened earlier. She could have explored Nick earlier. Maybe that would have actually been something that might have happened earlier on in the season. She could have actually really took Jalen serious. It's just like little things like that she could have actually been able to do, but you allowing Taylor to pursue her and then thinking about it too, knowing that certain shit was not edited, who's to say that Ace really wasn't like, as we see how Ace does what he does his dates, who's to say he wasn't really coaching Taylor into do more and more dates that we didn't even see? Say he was doing the same shit that Ace did for Chelley to Olandria to where she's really eating it up, thinking he really fuck with me like this. We didn't get to see it, but who's to say it didn't happen? So that stuff kind of robbed Olandria too, which is why I'm like,
you know, again, Taylor had reached some influences amongst that situation to where he had no other choice.
Did other people, or were other people aware of those influences, or kind of were you only aware of it because he told you? Like, did Olandria know about those influences?
Olandria didn't know about those influences, and it sucks because I couldn't tell Olandria about those influences. You know,
what do you mean you couldn't tell? I can't stand when people that get on TV act like producers are controlling them. That's why I say if I was to get on a reality TV show and they told me to do something and I didn't want to do it, I'm not doing it. If they tell me, Grant, if you don't do this, you going home, I'll pack my shit. Because if I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. I don't understand how these people get on these TV shows and state like, oh well, producers are telling me to do this, so I had to do it, or at least they're nudging me into doing something that I didn't want to do. But that then proves that you really just want to be on TV because you don't have to do it. Nobody's putting a gun to your head. That's the crazy part. What I just said.
At that moment in time, because it's just the way the world, spans.
It may feel like I'm jumping around a bit, but I'm honestly just going chronologically.
Yeah.
That's how I see things better visually in order.
Yeah.
So Huda pulled you for a chat after something transpired, and she then divulged to you that she was a mother.
Yeah.
Did you know that she was a mom prior to that?
No. Right.
Okay, because some people felt like, oh, maybe he knew already that she had.
My whole thing is with that
Thought
is
he
like,
knew.
when you keep reiterating to everybody, like, I'm a mom, I'm like, women have babies every day. My mom is a single mom, so I can very much understand where you're coming from. But to me, you came in here knowing you had a kid. Like, it wasn't as big of a secret as I think it should have been made out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? He clocking here.
Like, if you have a kid, like, you stand on 10 toes, like, yeah, I have a kid. If you don't like it, get on. Like, people do it every day. And for me,
And then that would have made you even more, in my opinion, that would have made you even more attracted to me. You stating, okay, well, I'm a I'm a mom. I have a daughter. I have a child. She means everything to me. She's everything that I do, what I do for her. That would have made me even more attracted to you. It wouldn't have scared me off. It's about the fact that you're proud of what you brought into this world, what you're on this world now living for. That, I mean, and then being scared and thinking that, oh well, somebody might leave me because I'm a mom and I have a child. Well, then that person's not for you. The fact that you're sitting here trying to hide that big part of your life, that is a red flag. It's weird.
that was the big thing. When she told me that right then and there, I'm like, okay, I understand where you're coming from, but and it's hard to date as a single mom, and I completely get that. I watched my mom date like growing up. Like it's a really hard thing to do, especially when you got two sons. Like that's some hard shit right there. Like I can imagine for a man coming in and seeing her two snotty ass kids having something to say about everything. So I get the whole gist of it. But for me, I feel like at that moment in time, it should have been a matter of like, yes, I have a kid, and if anybody don't like it, get on. And I would have given way more respect for that aspect of it, but I couldn't understand it.
Huda was then on the chopping block. It was between her and Jalen to get sent home.
Yeah.
It was a Jalen and Huda elimination after like that open door challenge.
Yeah,
and then you guys were then told to stand behind the islander that you wanted to save.
Yeah.
Some people stood behind Jalen.
Yeah.
You stood behind Huda.
Yeah.
And Huda looked like she appreciated the fact that you stood behind her.
Yeah.
Reached her arm out to like, thank you. And you kind of just looked at the hand and shook it off.
And said, hell no.
Hell no.
What happened there?
First things first, a lot of people were under the impression that it was me standing behind Huda because Chelley was cool with Huda, and that's why I went to go. It was not that. I can guarantee you it wasn't that. Again, a lot of influences.
These easy balanced meals kick takeout to the curb.
When he about to say a lot of influences, I thought for 100% sure that he did what he did was for Taylor to make sure that Taylor didn't have any competition with Jalen. That's what I thought, but he trying to make it seem like producers made him do this, which is weird.
On, Islanders being voted
That's
off.
what I thought.
A lot of influences. And if I had my way, I would definitely pick Jalen
So
to stay.
If what I'm understanding is if there weren't these influences, you would have voted for Jalen to stay instead of Huda to stay. Was there not a world in which you could have said, I'm doing what I want to do?
Keenan, of all people talking, that's the crazy part too. That's the crazy part too. But that's the thing too. Like I say earlier, I like to look at things for what they are. And it's like certain people saying certain stuff. It's like, yeah, but I sit and listen to what they say, and then I try and put two and two together. And if it makes sense, it makes sense to me. Keenan stating there, we all know how Keenan got down in that villa. We all know how KK got down in that villa. I'm pretty sure they was telling her not to go home with Keenan. And what did she do? She got up and left because she wanted to. Producers can tell you to do something, but it's up to you if you do it or not. And shout out to you for the super chat.
That's a tricky subject right there. You can stand on business about certain shit, and you not really standing on business at the end of the day, because again, a lot of things.
Nobody, like I just said, nobody can make you do something. You do it because you want to stay on the show. I'm pretty sure they give them an ultimatum like, you ain't gonna be able to do this, or you get a short. I guess they get paid. I think they get paid, not much, but you get a short check if you don't do this. You did it because you wanted that whatever it was that they are dangling over you. Me personally, if I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it.
You don't have, you know, a big hand on the steering wheel. You know,
So whose hand is on the steering wheel?
My conscience.
Your conscience.
Like
Is a hand.
So his conscience is on the steering wheel, but you basically just stated that production kind of nudged you into doing certain stuff. So if your conscience is on the steering wheel, why you let producers tell you what to do?
And on the steering wheel.
Uh-huh.
Okay. When you say your conscience, what does that mean? Your conscience. Okay. So so how many of the decisions are led by your conscience as opposed to by Ace?
Oh, a lot of decisions. I feel like about majority of every time an Islander is being sent home or being voted off.
Did other people have a conscience in the villa?
Oh, a whole lot of people had a conscience in the villa. I feel like everybody got consciences in the villa.
I have a conscience.
Yeah.
Everyone on the production team has a conscience.
Man, people watching this got a conscience.
Why did you though not want to shake her hand?
Because I wanted to make it clear to her it wasn't about her in that moment. Like it wasn't my choice to really stand behind you and have your back, because again, it wasn't about you. For me, it was important to make it that this decision is not about you, and I don't want you to feel any type of, you know, like, oh yeah, Ace is
like
on my
optimism
side.
about
Yeah, exactly.
You want it to be clear, like,
exactly.
Yo, it's not what it looks like
at all. And I feel like the day after she was, you know, screaming and cursing, calling everybody else out their name and stuff, or calling Jeremiah out his name, that's the moment in time where I was like, I don't feel this behavior should be rewarded. But
that's it.
So why? That's what blows me. I don't give a fuck what production stated. If I'm uncomfortable being around this woman, watching how she treats other people, first of all, it wouldn't have been me in that situation. The minute she would have walked around doing what she was doing and they sat back and didn't say anything, let her do it, I would have been the one checking her. I'd have been checking her real quick. And if production didn't want me to do it and they wanted to send me home, send me the fuck home. I'm not about to sit here and let some woman like this, not even just some woman, I'm not gonna sit here and let nobody come out here and disrespect people like that in front of me. Because it's not gonna happen to me and it's not gonna happen to other people that don't deserve it. Like, you should not go around talking to people like that. And then what he just said, he felt like she didn't deserve to be rewarded. You shouldn't have stood behind her then. If you didn't want her to get rewarded, then you shouldn't have stood behind her, because you standing behind her is rewarding her. Like, I'm like, what?
yeah.
So lastly, though, on the conscious thing, is it difficult? Like, okay, from what I've gleaned about you and your persona on the show, you're like a man who's like confident and stands firm on what he believes. Is it tough for you to have to kind of choose between your conscience and who you are and what you actually want to do as a person? Did that get frustrating for you?
It does. It definitely gets frustrating because, you know, as a man, I feel like all you have is your word, and what you are saying to people matters. And for me, that was what I battled with throughout this entire season. I'd stand on business about how I'm feeling about certain things. I call shit like it is. I never played, two sides of the fence. Like, I try and see things from both perspectives, but I just give my opinion when it's asked of me to give my opinion. And when I do, I'm not gonna shy away from it. And
Is that true? Because I can think of a couple times where Ace gave his opinion that was not asked. Shout out to you for the super chat. Janae, Miguel, Leah, and Kane said production can't make them do anything. There's only what does I say? There's can only be strong. Yeah. Can't nobody make you do nothing. They could have boycotted production at that point. Exactly.
it's tough because
Especially knowing, but I don't know if they knew that though. That's the thing. You got to watch these shows that you go on, because production ain't for people like Ace. Like, let's keep it real. They ain't for people like Ace. They ain't for people like Olandria. They're not for people like Chelley. So they ain't for you. So why you got to be for them?
because, influences try and persuade you out of how you are feeling to, try and cater to certain things and certain people and certain things like that. But it's not as easy as people make it out to be.
When an Islander is getting voted off, and the decision is up to their fellow Islanders, can you kind of walk me through how that goes?
Yeah. So are you speaking in specific to a certain?
Well, yes, but before I ask that, I want to know the context of they say, all right, the decision, one of these Islanders is going home, and it's up to you.
Yeah.
Is what we see, that deliberation, is that how it happens?
Right then and there, no, that's not how it happens. But again,
So it's more to the deliberation than just what we're seeing.
Yeah, it's way more. That for me, this is the most frustrating part about it. It's the fact of it's a lot more that goes down amongst picking an Islander to go home that people are ever going to get to see and get to witness. And that's the tough thing about it. Like, people think it's just made right there in that moment, and we took 2 minutes to talk about it and get somebody home. It's way more than that. Again, this is television at the end of the day, but it is what it is, and I'm able to take it on the chin and be the main person for someone to go home. Cool. I'll be able to handle that.
So
And that shit right there pissed me off because you know what he's stating is true though. You can tell producers manipulate who they want to send home. And it's like, it's not fair, because you're basically trying to keep, because Huda shouldn't have been there as long as she was. And I told my sister this watching the show when it was happening. She was like, Huda about to go home. I'm like, you don't watch enough reality TV. They're not going to send her home. She has been such a focal point. They're going to find a way to keep her there. And during that time when she finally was about to go home, they was trying to shoot that redemption arc. And I told y'all that's what they was going to do. And that's exactly what they did. They kept her there and then tried to edit her in a way where it looks like she was trying to start acting better when we all knew it was bullshit. We already knew it was only a matter of time before she started acting like herself again. And that's what happened.
We see maybe like 2 minutes of deliberation.
Yeah.
How long are you guys actually deliberating for?
Anywhere from like, it could be from around like 30 minutes to an hour. Like,
Really?
I was just going back and forth.
Just trying to chop it up and figure it out.
Yeah.
So that brings me to an elimination. And from an honest perspective, it was one of the main criticisms I had of you this season. And that's when Jeremiah got dumped.
Yeah.
I felt like there were other Islanders there, particularly Austin, who maybe had no motion in the villa at the time, who could have very easily gotten voted home instead of Jeremiah.
And should have.
Yeah.
At the reunion, they showed a clip that kind of showed you still doubling down on the fact that Jeremiah should be the one to go home, and Nick being the one to be like, hey, I think Austin should go home.
Right.
And that's because y'all remember I was pissed at Nick because Nick was the one that was actually friends with Jeremiah. Ace, we all knew Ace didn't like Jeremiah. Jeremiah knew that Ace didn't like him. So that was clear. Taylor was just the nigga that was just going with whatever Ace went with. So during that time, we all thought, especially me, that Nick was also included in it. I thought it was a unanimous vote. So I was pissed all the way off with Nick because it was fake. The whole situation looked fake. And that's the proof that the editing, they edit what they want to show you. Because the whole time, if they didn't show what happened at that reunion, that the full deliberation, I still would have thought that Nick was being fake with Jeremiah. Whereas it showed in that moment, he actually did have his back. I still feel the way that I feel about Nick, but I'll explain it later on. But in that moment, I will stand down because I was definitely on his head, but he clearly was actually out there, the only one defending Jeremiah staying. But then again, too, it made it also seem like Ace was definitely the one that was spearheading that whole conversation when we actually saw it to actually be Taylor. So the power of producers showing what they want to show.
Is what we saw actually how it transpired?
No, not at all. Even at the reunion, they didn't show this. I don't understand why they didn't show it, but again, that's how.
There was a time when I barely knew how to turn on a computer. Now, I'm a cybersecurity specialist.
Easy. The world works, but I had said this is not the full clip. You guys are starting this clip at, I think we should send Jeremiah home. We went through the pros and cons of every person, all of us. I said, the pros to Pepe stand, I don't feel he did this, but I feel like he has more pros than cons. Keep Pepe. Went through the cons of Austin. He hasn't did this, he hasn't did that, but I also feel like he hasn't got a chance to get this and get that. Then we went to Jeremiah. After doing all of those things, then they started the clip of, I think we should take Jeremiah home. So it sucks that the full picture didn't get painted right then and there because again, the reunion is supposed to clear things up. When things aren't being cleared up, that makes me feel some type of way. But regarding the sending home of Jeremiah, a lot of influences are to play. And
some consciousness.
My conscience. My conscience, steps in. But I was man enough to admit to Jeremiah, like, look, bro, I apologize because again, it's not personal. And
Do y'all believe that? Because I just can't see producers sending Jeremiah home. Like, as we all know, the vote was going to be what it was. But to me, from a producer standpoint, sending Jeremiah home makes no sense. So when he's talking about the conscience basically being the one to do that, it makes no sense to me because that's the reason why we didn't get movie night. Because if Jeremiah was still there during movie night, they probably would have had movie night. Because you take away the biggest focal point of the season at that point, there's no point in having them. Well, there was still a reason to show movie night with what we had left, but that's the biggest part that was going to be shown. So I don't see them being like, send him home when there's Austin up there and Pepe up there. Austin he ain't done nothing the whole season but sit around a bitch. Pepe got in there was sticking his tongue in the blonde's mouth, but he didn't have a storyline. Pepe wasn't nobody. We didn't care about Pepe, so if Pepe went home, it wouldn't have made a difference. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Trying to get him to understand it's not personal. And we were able to have that conversation of us clearing things up regarding how he got sent home and the differences that we had throughout the season. And, we understood where we were both coming from. And actually, me and Jeremiah are super cool. And I hope to do a stream with him. We were just talking about it last night. Like, we're going to do some shit or we can go hoop, we're going to do whatever. Like, we're super cool now to where we can understand where we're coming from. But I really wanted him to understand that in that experience, that it wasn't an easy decision to just be like, send him home, or I'm hating on what he got going on. Mm-hmm. It's never been that stressful.
When I was watching it in real time, I was like, damn, this is some hating shit. Like, they trying to get Jeremiah out the paint because he got motion.
I felt like a hater, and I even said that and was like, look, this feels like some hating ass shit, like respect.
I'm glad you know it, because that's exactly what it was. That was some hating ass shit. That was literally the most hating ass shit that I've seen on 4K in my life. That was the clearest hating ass shit that I've ever seen. Like, what? Like, they literally sent that man home because every woman that they wanted to show them attention showed him the attention. That's why they was mad. Also, because Jeremiah did what Jeremiah wanted to do. Like, Ace couldn't control Jeremiah. Taylor couldn't control Jeremiah. Nick couldn't control Jeremiah. Jeremiah did what Jeremiah wanted to do. And that's the problem. He posed a threat to them, too, with the win. I still believe all three of them, Ace, Nick, and Taylor, just wanted to win. That's what I believe. That's why I stated from that episode forward, I don't want Olandria or Chelley with any of the three. That's why I stated what I stated. Still feel that way, but we'll get to it.
Nah, like, yeah, it's television.
But the fact that you said it was some hater ass shit, I'm glad you acknowledged it.
No, I know.
Watching it, I'm like, this is
watching it and going through it felt like some hater ass shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
The deliberation on whether or not to send Jeremiah home was between you, Taylor, and Nick.
Yeah.
At the time, Andreina had just come in the villa as a bombshell.
Right.
I'm wondering, is there a world in which someone wanted to send Jeremiah home so that they could get to know Andreina?
All I know is what is being shown to me and what is being told to me. Taylor had came to me on some, Jeremiah is repeating the same cycle again with Andreina. Okay. Sound like Jeremiah, but I'll see for myself. And then if that's my experience, that's my experience. Boom, I'm seeing a little bit of what Taylor is talking about. I'm like, okay. But again, I have my own situation with Chelley. I'm more focused on that. But again, I do peep all the, stuff going down.
So let me ask this in a different way.
Yeah.
Did Taylor want to get to know Andreina?
Yeah, for sure, overly.
Do you feel like he was maybe incentivized to vote to send Jeremiah home to get him out the paint? That way he could focus and lock in on Andreina.
Andreina would have never showed it. Taylor is in over his head, boy. You had Olandria, and you couldn't handle her either. And I feel like in large part too, a lot of people question if Taylor is colorist. When you look at his preference, I mean, it kind of lines up. I ain't trying to accuse him of it, but shit. When you look at somebody's track record and certain things just line up, you got to just call a spade a spade. But I feel like the same thing with Olandria, I feel like would have been the same thing with Andreina. Andreina and Olandria both carry themselves like women, like not no little girl. Like, and we all know Taylor has a little boy like mentality, a little boy like air about him. He was, me personally, I feel like he definitely didn't like Olandria because she intimidated him. Olandria comes with a level of just like, you need to be, like I stated earlier in the season, what I see for her is like a CEO, like a big boss of like multiple different businesses. Like somebody that you see her on their arm and they just showing her off like, this is mine. That's what I see. Taylor, it just don't make sense. Same thing I feel with Andreina. I feel like Andreina has that same type of status. Like it's just, it would never make sense. So for him to be thinking that getting Jeremiah out is going to make Andreina come to you, she would have went to Pepe.
I know he definitely really wanted to get to know Andreina. I'll just leave it at that. I know he did.
New users can now get NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube for 8 payments of only $34.50 per.
I'm so ready for football.
Andreina?
My experience with Andreina, the first thing that she had mentioned to me off the first introduction of,
that part. The shit that I've been seeing on TikTok and the way he's been treating her, she got to get up out of there. I thought that he would have got, yeah, right. Like, y'all see what I'm saying? Like, Olandria was 10 times out of his league, as was Andreina. Clarke is too. So then he can pull Andreina. Right. Y'all definitely feel what I'm saying. Right. And then he had Coco too. Like, you had Andreina's not one of them. Well, I'm gonna say 3 because Clarke liked Taylor too. You had Olandria, Clarke, and Coco. 3 beautiful, beautiful black women. And you see which one he went with. Not to say Clarke was the easier one to. I feel like Clarke was the easier one to impress. Coco, even though Coco acts the way she does now, I feel like Coco, he probably, like he stated, he said Coco was a different version or another version of Olandria in a different body. I'm not assimilating that with like physical appearance, but then again, when you think about it, Coco is darker skinned, so maybe that's what he's looking at. But she also, I feel like Coco had some depth to her, even though she been moving like she been moving. But I feel like he was intimidated by her too. Because why did you so quick? We only saw that one conversation where he was about to give her his last name, and then we never thought anything else from him. It was weird.
Came down the stairs for the Meg Thee Stallion challenge and gave me a hug. And the first thing she said was, "Well, I know you don't want to be touched," because she had already watched the whole interaction of Amaya. And for me, it sucks because it was putting me at a disadvantage to get to know different women amongst the house. And when she had made that comment, I was already off of it right then and there. And I know she still wanted to get to know me as well. She had made me smoothies in the kitchen and shit like that. I was like, yo, we got to chop it up. We got to get to know each other. But again, I already had Chelley at the end of the day. So, and I made that clear at the fire pit that all I wanted was to talk to was Chelley. So coming out this whole experience and to see that, she was participating in comments of Ace was jealous of what me and Jeremiah had and he wanted to send us home or send me home, or he wanted to send Jeremiah home and he was jealous of what we had and, they were haters, quote unquote, but respectfully, I wasn't all the way invested into what you were bringing. And don't get me wrong, she's a gorgeous woman. She's super cool, but that wasn't for me.
One thing I found interesting was during your time in the villa, it seemed like you had strong bonds and strong friendships and strong relationships.
Yeah.
And now it seems to me like amongst the other islanders, people are quick to defend their friends when shit is not actually like, wait a second, that's my man's or that's my homegirl, and that's not really how it happened.
Oh, let's get into it.
Do you feel that, or is maybe what I'm seeing not accurate?
I feel like throughout my time in the villa, I had catered to a lot of people's, relationships. They would come to me. It wasn't a matter of me going out my way. And sometimes I would go out my way to check on people, but it was always a thing of making sure people are seeing both sides of the situation. Even when they're right, I call it, say, look, you're right, you're wrong. Like, and that was my whole thing of.
Now, my thing with Ace doing it, you should definitely, if you see somebody doing something wrong and they not trying to address it, yeah, you should. I feel like our goal being on this earth is to make each other better. So if you see something that somebody's doing that you know is wrong, yeah, address it. But if you have the ability to do that with other people, you should be able to do that within yourself. So when Ace moved the way he moved with Chelley, why didn't you check yourself? That was my question. Because yeah, you right to do that, but you also was acting a fool too. But I didn't hear you taking accountability for what you did. Even with the whole shit with Huda, with the heart rate challenge, how when Chelley didn't even really hold him accountable from what we saw, but he states that she had him on ice for 4 weeks or for 4 days, which I mean, I guess we can kind of see that whenever he was tripping out. But you didn't take accountability for what you did. You basically tried to put it all on girl, but not only that, you still tried to point it at Chelley too for I think what she was doing with Chris. So it's like you ain't no better, and we saw what you did fully, which you was enjoying that a little bit too much to be all in on Chelley. So why didn't you hold yourself accountable?
Making sure I'm helping out everybody throughout this experience because again, first thing coming into the villa, I wasn't worried about the friendships and all that. I was worried about finding love. But you do develop friendships throughout that entire time.
It's natural.
Exactly. So we're going to be on the house together for 6 weeks. You're bound to, be friends with some people at some point. So being that's the case, we had all developed a really, really close friendship. And coming out the villa, people see narratives get spent and want to protect their own brand image, which is crazy because I know a lot of things about certain people post-villa, during villa, before villa. You would think you would, have my back about certain shit. But
because if shit hit the fan,
man, your shit finna hit the fan. But I'm not the type.
Hold on, let me let him say what he just said.
Like a person to be like, I'm about to go air out everybody's shit just to protect my own ass. But
get in the comments. Which I don't know what y'all finna say. Because not even 3 minutes later, he just literally contradicted himself. He's right about people coming out trying to basically, in a way, get their clout off of his name, basically not really coming to his defense. But for him to say that I'm not about to air your shit out. Y'all, I'm screaming. We're about to rerun that back so we can hear it again.
Which is crazy because I know a lot of things about certain people post-villa, during villa, before villa. You would think you would, have my back about certain shit. But
because if shit hit the fan,
man, your shit finna hit the fan. But I'm not the type of person to be like, I'm about to go air out everybody's shit just to protect my own ass. But it is what it is. But
you have felt that though, that like people haven't had your back in the way that other Islanders have had.
For sure. And to me, bro, again, even if I look crazy, knowing that person's narrative got spent wild on the show, I'm gonna stand their character. You know what I mean? Like if I met this person, I was able to get to know them, and they said they did this. Look, someone asked me a question, they did this and they did this. That's from my perspective, though. I would expect more people to be like that in this world, but.
That is such a Leo response because I'm the same way. Sometimes I have to clock myself on it because I'm the type of person I think a certain way, and I do expect other people to. When it comes from a morality standpoint, I'd be catching myself expecting that from other people. When you can't expect other people to do what you want them, what you would do, and it's like they're not going to do what I want them to do in that instance, and that's just a Leo trait. We have a very very hard time with lack of control. Y'all see how I tweak out when it comes to like my recaps and stuff. If it ain't exactly how I want it, I'm gonna let you know in here. I'm pissed off because I don't like the way it looks. But the lack of being able to control how somebody reacts is very much a Leo trait. So even though you expect certain things from certain people, you can't expect certain things from certain people because they're not always gonna be like that because they don't think like you.
Fortunately, they did this and me like.
And that shows his age because he fully expects that, and when it doesn't happen, he's mad, like completely mad. But it comes with age because I was that way at his age. Definitely expected more from people, and when they didn't do it, I would be mad. But I would cut them off. I would cut them off, but I wouldn't air them out. I would cut them off.
If I met this person, I was able to get to know them, and they said they did this. Look, someone asked me a question, they did this and they did this. That's from my perspective, though. I would expect more people to be like that in this world, but unfortunately, that's not the case because again, clout comes into play. You want to protect everything that you got. Again, I had all that shit, so that's not my main focus. I'm gonna speak on what's real. What's real?
Yeah.
It is what it is, though.
What were your thoughts on Olandria and Nick getting dumped and then being brought back as a couple?
That's true too.
Would this make you buy a Ridge wallet?
He definitely didn't speak on anybody prior to this interview. That's what I stated with him earlier. He wasn't on social media. He was the one person who, as we all know, has a social media presence prior to the show, and he wasn't on social media as soon as the show got out. Like he was quiet, did not do no interviews, none of that shit. He dropped that little diss track that he had, but he really didn't talk about anybody until this moment. Shout out to you, Carol, but that's what he's doing now. He's airing things out now. Like he don't have Olandria for real. Yeah, we about to get into it right here, right now. Oh shit, hold on.
You know,
and Nick,
what's real?
Yeah,
it is what it is. So,
what were your thoughts on Olandria and Nick getting dumped and then being brought back as a couple?
It's funny because I know Nick, you know, had found Olandria attractive day one, and you know when Nick got axed from the villa. And to see that Olandria got axed from the villa and they'd be coupled up again, my experience with that was, you know, they thought each other were attractive, but it was never going to be more than just friends right then and there. And they were just, you know, it was just going to be cool, you know. And just as time goes on, Cierra gets, you know, dragged out the villa. Now it's a thing where I'm feeling like I have to be catering to know what's going on between Nick and Olandria. What's going on between Nick and Olandria?
Now that I don't. He's not wrong though, because it's like the way I feel, and this is where I stay when I'm gonna talk about the things that other people don't want to talk about when it comes to Nick. And it's not even the Nicolandria of it all, it's the Nick of it all for me. Because where I feel like a lot of people are glossing over Nick, making Nick look to be super, super innocent. Let's put his track record. Let's go from the beginning to when he met Olandria. He started off with Belle-A. Cierra comes in, starting to really get all about Cierra, yet he's dragging Belle-A on. He goes back and finally kisses Belle-A, then goes and runs to Cierra and kisses her, but don't tell Belle-A. That's red flag number one. So then he moves on to getting dumped. Him and Olandria together. He does that. He then goes back after Olandria pretty much shut it all down. We're just gonna stay friends because her guilty conscience came into her face. She's thinking about Cierra instead of thinking about Olandria. He then drops it and goes back to Cierra. Then he goes and locks in with Cierra because Elan came back and Elan posed a threat to Nick. So let me close this shit off with Cierra so that Elan is no longer a factor. But then Cierra gets removed from the villa. Now I'm all about Olandria again. Me personally, that's the shit I'm talking about where Ace is about to clock him. I fully see that shit. And this is why I say two things can be true. Can Ace be talking because he's jealous? And could Ace be talking because he's jealous and he feels some type of way about the attention that they have? Maybe I'm not gonna put that on him in that instance because I don't know for sure. But maybe I'm not gonna doubt it. But like I said, two things can be true. He could feel that way, but he still could be stating the same thing. And I feel like other people stating true things. I feel like people are overlooking it because it's Ace talking about Nicolandria. And it's like, you got to see things for what it is. And if it is in fact true, it could be a lie. But if it is in fact true, those things that I just stated about Nick still are true. And they can be proven from the footage that we watched on the show. But that's how I feel. But we about to, let me see what y'all said before we get into it. Because the thing is, too, with the whole Nick shit, me personally, the way I feel about it, which is why I don't want Olandria with him, honestly, me personally, but it's not up to me, and I really don't care at the end of the day. What they do is what they do. Me personally, I look at the black women on these shows like I would look at my sister. That's why I'm super, super protective of black women on here, because I look at how I would treat anybody that pursues my sister. Seeing how Nick was moving and then sleeping with Cierra too, and then to then jump to Olandria, me personally, I wouldn't want that with my sister. Like I wouldn't, because like he was moving wild. That's not somebody that I want with my sister. Like that's just me. But that's how I feel. Let me see what y'all saying, because Lord, I know it's about to be something. People drag Nick bad for being a fuck boy, because he low key is. He ain't like sit here. I hold him accountable for that. He didn't, and he still locked in on her, knowing that he didn't. People were questioning the Chelley and Ace for comment on the Instagram. He white. That's yeah. Ace need to clock himself. It's like people. Yeah. I just can't see how they sleep with one another after being around them for a few weeks. Yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to get y'all's comments before we get back in. He's a horn dog for sure. 45 seconds with you and short ended Bama Barbie Beecher. I mean, it doesn't matter how they does it. And that's the thing. I want her to be happy. That's all I want at the end of the day. And if it is what a lot of people, honestly myself, are suspecting, if it is PR, as long as Olandria is good, that's all I care about. If she gets herself into other positions being attached to him that are going to help her financially, career wise, I'm all for it. I just want her to protect her heart. I don't want her to be hurt in the end. That's what I don't want to see another Janae and Kenny situation. That's why I look at it without rose-colored glasses. Like I don't ship them. I don't ship nobody, honestly. But I look at things from a realistic standpoint. Shout out to you jumping down at Disney. I know. That's the contradicting shit. He was playing the game exactly. He was. Wait, so are we clocking in for playing the game? Who? Nick or Ace? I'm trying to get all y'all's comments before we jump back in because I know I was talking about something big. He needs to. He's gonna dump his year after the show. Exactly. People didn't mention Nicolandria, then they were jealous. Didn't mention Nicolandria, then they were jealous. Ace was excited for them, then they started doing interviews and lives. We about to get into that too. Nick was playing the game, but I do think he likes Landry. I don't doubt that he likes Landry. That was clear from the beginning. Like I stated, I feel like he did have a crush on her. And I still don't doubt that he didn't and still maybe does. But I don't know. It's hard to trust his intentions when what I just stated was what it was. Because Nick was all about trying to get the next thing that walked in. And my thing is too, if you knew that you had a crush on Olandria from the beginning, you had ample opportunities to get at her. You knew Taylor didn't like her. So me personally, if I know you don't like her for real, I'm gonna take my stab at it. If I really want her, I'm gonna do it because I know you don't really care. Like, and then not only that, we really not friends at that point. Y'all came into the show and y'all locked in and stuff, but y'all only knew each other for what, 2 weeks? And I ain't gonna say 2 weeks because they knew that Taylor didn't like her from day 3. So if you knew that and you really wanted her, go pursue her. But he didn't pursue her until he had no other choice, which is why people doubt what it is. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll through because if I put him up here, we're gonna be scrolling forever. Shout out to you, Carol. Ace wanted to Cordell and Serena. That ain't ever gonna happen because Cordell and Serena, in my opinion, are the most genuine couple to ever come off this show. And that's why I was super in their corner. I ain't shit nobody. I ain't really ever shit nobody. And when I say that, like, I don't really care about other people's relationships that are not mine because what's it to me? But watching the show, I really, really wanted those two to really last because I just saw we saw a different journey than we've ever seen on the show. They went through the ups and the downs, and we got to see it all. And in that case, Cordell was so actively pursuing Serena, even when she was not giving him shit, not giving him shit. But then, whenever she finally realized that I don't even think that. I feel like she knew immediately that she liked him, and she knew she could get to that point, which is why she protected herself. I feel like her being standoffish was her protecting herself. And when she realized that she really had feelings for him, that's when that doc scene happened. And you got to see that Cordell really fucked with her like that because he came back and literally did not smile until he won her back. When he had Daya right there the whole time. If he really didn't give a fuck and Serena's not showing him anything, he got another woman right there who was willing to be right there with him. And you see how he did it. They are without a doubt my favorite couple to come on the show. And I still follow them to this day. We definitely all have our flaws, that's for sure. Because I ain't perfect. Like I said, I'm not. And I just told y'all earlier, I had the same mindset as Ace did when it came to people expecting a lot from people that you're not really gonna get from everybody. You gotta come to terms with that. There's certain things that certain people are not gonna do that you want. You don't have to accept it either, though. That's the thing too. Like you just don't have to be around those people. Ace has got to grow up and realize that okay, well, this person ain't doing what I need from them and what's going to satisfy me as a person. Then I need to leave them where they at, and that's what he seems to be doing with Nick. But I don't know. We're gonna see. Nick definitely has some flaws, like being a people chaser, and that's coming from somebody who likes Nicolandria. Exactly, and I'm glad there's people like you that see that, and that's why I feel like a lot of the big Nicolandria stands, and if I ain't talking to you, you shouldn't be bothered by it. But I feel like a lot of them don't want to address that, and that's what I'll be talking about. A lot of people are overlooking shit that they need to address. But let's keep it going.
You know, it's part of the Love Island experience. But my last conversation with Nick before I left was he finds her attractive, she finds him attractive, but they haven't found a romantic spark, and that was my conversation with him throughout this entire experience. So he was saying that it was.
These cuts, I was watching Yanni's World. She pointed the shit out too, and I noticed it too. Why? Because we ain't have no cuts the entire part of this interview until this part. I wonder what was said that was cut.
So he was saying that it was nothing more than physical. That was
you
my
see how he's
conversation with
moving
him throughout this entire experience. So
you see he's in a different position here, and then he getting ready to get up.
He was saying that it was
like, what was cut? What was cut? And that's why I say you got to be a little bit realistic when it comes to things. You can't not look at the full picture. I know what we see looks good, but it's like you can't not look at the full picture. But let's keep going.
Nothing more than physical attraction. It was just not at that romantic spark level.
Gotcha.
And coming out the villa and seeing that this whole Nicolandria thing has been a thing for a while, it's like damn. That's crazy. You know what I mean?
A lot of people on the internet felt as though there was like this brewing underlying romance between Nick and Olandria all along. Like, oh, I saw it. I could tell they were into each other.
Yeah.
As someone who was in the villa, did you see that? Like from like, oh, they're gonna end up together, or they really feeling each other?
Nah, because again, like first week is a little bit hazy. Everybody's trying to get to explore everybody, and that's just that. But as time goes on, didn't nobody really, see a connection brewing from that. And even when Olandria got X from the island and she came over back to the villa, they had doubled down and said, yeah, nah, this ain't that trust. You know what I mean? So just to see all the commotion about now, I'm like, wow, it's crazy.
Was it Olandria maybe that didn't see Nick romantically, or was it Nick that didn't see her romantically?
I feel like it was both. Like, I felt like Olandria has been very adamant on telling me what her type is. And like, yo, my type is this. I see myself dating this. I've, experienced dating different, backgrounds and stuff like that. But I knew for a fact Olandria wasn't, going to openly explore that. And I know the same thing about Nick. I know Nick finds Olandria attractive. I know he finds her gorgeous, what she is. Like, don't get me wrong, Olandria is fire, but I know it wasn't that anymore than, what it was surface level. Because again, Nick had tested that connection. He said it wasn't enough for him, and he went back to Cierra. And then boom, again, Cierra gets axed, and now that's
He's
a thing.
back with Olandria.
Yeah.
So had Nick ever explicitly told you?
But you see, that's that point that I was talking about. And it's like, it tracks out because that's what literally happened. That's what literally happened. Now, I'm not stating that in present day it couldn't have changed, because it definitely could have changed. It definitely could have changed. But like I said, taking it for face value, what he stated is a fact. 'Cause we literally saw it. We literally saw it. But that was on the show. They've been off the show now for almost 2 months now. So things definitely could have changed. And as we heard with Ace, he ain't really talked to him since what, the Disney shit, which I think was a month ago. So things could have changed. Maybe Ace is speaking prematurely. Maybe that is calculated. I will definitely give y'all that. But who's to know? Because he don't know at this point. You ain't really talked to him, so you don't know where they currently stand. But in that moment in time, he wasn't telling a lie from what happened on the show.
Yo, I'm interested in Olandria romantically.
Why don't you own apartment buildings? Seriously, why don't you own these big?
No, like it's always been a fact of she's attractive.
Mm-hmm. So what's it like for you now to come out the villa and like Nicolandria is like a movement?
Yeah.
As someone who experienced it firsthand, what is your reaction to Nicolandria?
For me, reacting to the whole Nicolandria thing, I was really happy for Olandria. Like she had been dealt bad cards throughout that whole entire experience, and just to see her coming out and getting a sense of happiness, that's what I really cared about throughout this whole entire process. So
I asked you how you felt about Nicolandria, and you said you're happy for Olandria. What about Nick?
Yeah, I'm happy for Nick too. I'm happy for Nick too.
No, you're not. Keep it real. Stand on business. That's that part about Ace. I'm like, he was keeping it real, but not keeping it real at the same time. Like, stand on it. You're not happy for Nick. State that. You purposely omitted saying his name because you didn't. You're not happy about it. So don't state that you're happy for him because you're not. You're not happy for Nick. And if he feels a certain way about how Nick didn't stand up for him, stand in that shit. Like, stand in it. Because me personally, if I feel some type of way about somebody, you gonna know it. If I'm gonna talk about it, you damn sure gonna know it. I'm not gonna act like I don't feel some type of way about it when it's clear I do. Like, your energy states that you don't fuck with me. So stand on it.
Actually, I'm happy for both of them. It's just I'm really happy for Olandria because again, we developed a really close bond in there.
And that's that stuff that bothers me. Because I'm like, you really, and that's the thing too. If what Ace is stating is in fact true in regards to this Nicolandria of it all, if you really fucked with Olandria like that for real, you wouldn't talk about it here. Me personally, I think I said this to somebody. I might have said it to somebody in the group chat. But if you really felt this type of way, when that question is being asked, Speedy's doing what Speedy's supposed to do. He's a journalist. He's supposed to ask these questions that are going to get clicks. He's supposed to ask the questions that other people are going to try and ask and not get the answers to. So Ace, being a realist, you don't have to answer the question. And me personally, if you ask me something messy about my friend and I feel some type of way about it that I feel like would be portrayed as something messy, I'm not going to answer it. I'm not going to answer it. Because if I really care about you, I'm not going to put you in that position to now look stupid. So that's where the Nicolandrians really being mad at Ace, I fully understand that. I fully understand that because it puts Olandria in another position to make it look like she's with a man who's now using her as Taylor was using her to stay on the show. You now have another narrative going where Nick is literally using Olandria to get clout, to get this, to get that. Whether it's true or not, if it was in fact true, tell that to Olandria and let Olandria do what she needs with that. If Olandria wants to bring it to the public, then let her do that. Like, that was not his place. That was not his place to speak on it. And that's the one time where I'm like, no. This is where Ace lost me here because I'm like, absolutely not. Because it puts Olandria in a position where she's now already gotten so much hate just for being black. Let's just call it spade a spade. She was black. She ain't do nothing wrong in that villa, honestly. Even with the Cierra and Nick shit, I put all of the blame on Nick because Nick is the one that was fucking Cierra. So if Cierra needed the closure, Nick should have given her that, in my opinion, because you was in her raw. I don't want to say raw, but you was in her. So if she needed that closure, I feel like he should have did that. I don't feel like Olandria was wrong in that situation because they there for Love Island. Olandria is straight, so she's not trying to get with Cierra. She's trying to get with the other men there. So if a man is approaching her, she can do that. Y'all not friends, first of all, for real. Like, y'all were friendly in the house, but y'all not friends at the end of the day. She don't owe her nothing. Nick is the one that has been sleeping with her. He's the one that had actually locked in on her. So he's the one that owes her the closure at the end of the day. So I lost where I was going with that. But let's keep it going. Let me see what y'all say. I lost where I was going with that. Did I read this one? Shout out to you, Jay Lee. It was for Ace to say that about Olandria, knowing that she is upset about seeming undesirable. Yeah. And that's what I was talking about too, though, because it puts Alandria in another situation where the public is looking at her as undesirable. When we all know she's, in my opinion, out of everybody there, she was the most desirable. On paper, she is what I, all them women up there, she definitely, because she's somebody that I would want because she got everything that she wants. She knows what she wants, and that's attractive. Like a woman that really knows what she wants and what she expects out of her life and her man, that's attractive. So it just sucks that she's been painted as the one that is not desired, which is weird. He saw that Olandria and had the time to tell her right. Did Nick stand up for him? Yes, he was too passive, but you could have said that when he called you repeatedly for weeks, and I don't know, there's someone that says, yeah, I agree. Somebody he didn't tell her nothing about the Taylor intentions. Exactly. Yeah, that's what literally set everything that I stated at the beginning. Where now it's people trying to put them against each other, and it pisses me off. Because it's like, what happened to protecting black women? Shelley is black too. Like, it's like, and it's like it also falls back on him because it was careless. It was careless. Cause like he could have thought about that. Because it's only gonna like the people too that don't even give a fuck about Shelley and Alandria, they seeing all this back and forth shit. The ones that been dying to add on to it are now gonna do it even more, 10 times more, which puts it even. I hate it. I hate it. It's not even just Nicolandria, it's Shelley too. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Close friends with Cierra, just like Cierra and Olandria were friends. Oh, hold on. Shout out to you. He isn't telling us anything new. My question is, why is he telling us this now? It feels like a tantrum, like he is mad at Nick and he's kicking. Let's see that. First Ace helped Taylor. Lead a magic on. No, these specific things had to try to save Coco. And then you say, yeah. Yeah. You definitely right. Shout out to y'all for the super chats. No. Shout out to you, Lana. They were all playing the game. He's upset at Nick won, but now the fake allegations will make her look like a fraud. Like she been doing. I know. I know. I know. I know. We're gonna get into it. But let's keep it going.
Let's talk about the heart rate challenge.
Yeah, let's do it.
The heart rate challenge was a moment that rocked the internet.
Yeah.
It seemed as though we at home did not see the entirety of what happened between you and Huda. There was kissing.
My girl Kaya, go subscribe to Kaya, y'all. Kaya be posting a lot of stuff, a lot of content. People want a Lauren and Cameron love story with Nick and Landry so bad that they're forcing us. And that's because the first interaction they had, I told y'all on that recap, I saw somebody made a damn AI version of them with a family with kids. I'm like, come on, touch grass, go outside, go outside. It's too much. Unfortunately for Shelley, her only way to seem like good friend that this person is to dump him. We'll see.
There's a lap dance involved in some capacity, and that's all we saw. And then in the reunion, they showed an extended clip and said, hey, this is what actually happened.
Yeah.
Based on what was shown in the reunion, was that exactly what transpired?
Yes and no. Like, I feel like the clip was sped up a little bit more than what it was made out to be because, again, everybody was looking around for about a good, like, maybe 5, 6, 7 seconds, like, what the hell is going on right now? And don't get me wrong, too, everybody's like, one thing I seen amongst everybody was, why isn't Shelley holding Ace accountable for wilding out in that challenge?
I was going to ask you that. Did you feel any, or do you feel any responsibility in that to take accountability for your actions in it?
Yes and no. Like, for sure.
What you mean yes and no? Yes and no for taking accountability for what you did. You partook in that and you did too much too. Yes, old girl did a lot and she did too much considering how she would have reacted if it was done to Jeremiah, which is I'm glad Andy clocked her and literally asked her about him specifically. Because Andy knew as he watched it like we did and had the same perspective that we did, you only like Jeremiah. Yeah, she probably liked him too, Ace. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do believe she did like Ace. That's why she put all that stank on it. She put that stank on that performance, A, because she liked Ace, and B, because she's jealous of Shelley. She sees Shelley having everything that she wants, seeing a dark-skinned black woman being pursued without having to give up the cat, without having to do all of that stuff, being a pick me. She hated that. She hated that. Shelley had everything that she wanted. Chelley had 2 or 3 guys pursuing her at every single chance, every single quarter of the season. She didn't have that. That's why she was mad. But Ace, you was in there grabbing that ass. You, as we saw when she was bouncing that thing in your face, you sitting there playing with it. You was dead ass wrong too. You did too much because you ain't the one performing. You're the one getting performed on. She trying to raise your heart rate, and you sitting there helping her do it. Like what?
Amongst that whole entire process, throughout the whole entire season, we have been preaching it's a challenge, it's a challenge, it's a challenge. And that whole entire challenge was nothing different than what every other challenge was just kissing, trying to be passionate, trying to, do sexy ass shit and all that just to get the points or get the win or whatever like that. So really that was the mindset I was coming from when it came to throughout that whole entire challenge. But then nobody can expect her to just lick from the damn near gooch up to the tip. Like that shit was crazy as hell to me. You know what I mean? So that's when I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Now, afterwards, everybody's laughing and joking and shit like that. And I'm looking at her and I know she's pissed. And that's where I'm like, oh, damn, like this shit has become even more than what it's supposed to be. Like for me, again, I'm looking at it from it's a challenge perspective and I'm seeing my girl piss. And, obviously I was pissed too when she had doubled back and did the whole thing with Chris and all that. So, but trust and believe, she held me accountable.
She didn't do half of what you did. Like I know a lot of people gonna sit there and say, well, she did a lot. No, she didn't. I feel like it wasn't nowhere near the degree of what was done with them. They was doing too much. Too much.
For like a week straight and was on my ass about that whole entire situation. Y'all ain't see me with a smile for like 4 episodes. Like it shit was tough. I ain't gonna lie. And then even
But that smile didn't he was struggling to get that smile off his face when old girl did what she did. Y'all give me the H name for her. Huda, Helga, as everybody be saying. Jesse Wu had me laughing the other day calling her Honda Civic.
had that conversation at the fire pit as well with all the boys. And again, if anybody's gonna vouch for me, they're gonna vouch for me. If they're not, they're not, but they can't say I'm lying. I had told them, look, I was uncomfortable, respectfully. Like, again, nobody can expect her to do some shit like that. So my thing is I've been preaching boundaries throughout this whole entire experience. And
hold on, let me read your chat. 1 sec. Hold on, let me pause it. We almost done, y'all. Ace standing on business and claim production made him keep Huda. He kept Huda because he didn't want Jalen to stay. Exactly. That's what, yeah. I said the same thing. That's exactly what I thought. Oh, shit. Hold on, y'all. I keep forgetting I'm muted.
Expect her to do some shit like that. So my thing is I've been preaching boundaries throughout this whole entire experience. And at that moment in time, that's when we had pulled Amaya just to show there's no beef because I already knew what the narrative was from the outside of different girls coming into the village saying, oh, he don't like to be touched. We're not gonna touch Ace. We don't want to be involved with Ace. But then they got to know me and it was a different story. So it was the same thing with the heart rate challenge. It was just me just trying to clear up. The problem isn't me being touched. The issue is me just stating boundaries. And at that moment in time, it wasn't comfortable as hell. And people can get their heart rate raised from being shocked, surprised, trying to deal with emotions of his girl right next to him. Like it's a lot. So it wasn't a matter of me being sexually attracted to Huda. Like, don't get me wrong, the first few days, yeah, I was definitely trying to explore her, just like I was trying to explore everybody else. But I had made it very clear to her day 4, day 5, that this isn't that romantically.
I believe him with the romantic part. Do y'all think he said that, didn't he say, he just said that he wasn't sexually attracted. Hold on, let me play that to make sure I'm accurate.
Me being sexually attracted with emotions of his girl right next to him, like it's a lot. So it wasn't a matter of me being sexually attracted to Huda. Like, don't get me wrong, the first few days, yeah, I was definitely trying to explore her, just like I was trying to explore everybody else. But I had made it very clear to her day 4, day 5, that this isn't that romantically.
I get him on that though, because he had every opportunity to pursue her romantically, and he didn't. Because when Chelley wasn't really on him like that, when she after the challenge, he could have went and pursued her. But do I think that he was sexually attracted to Huda? Absolutely, absolutely. But I do think that he probably saw her for what she was and was like, "Nah, I don't want that in my life." So I don't doubt that.
So the narrative, Ace enjoyed that, Ace wanted Huda alone this whole entire time, has never been that. I've been told her that, and that was my frustration with her. Is you keep pushing and feeding me into these little narratives of that. Oh yeah, I was attracted to Ace. I just had a conversation with you the day before that it's not that, and it's never going to be anything like that. So the fact that you keep pushing this narrative on that I was on you, it hasn't been like that.
One thing,
And that's the thing too, though. She kept saying in her interview, the one that I recapped, she said it was sexual tension between them. Sexual tension is mutual. Like, I feel like, yeah, I don't think it was sexual tension. I think Ace definitely was sexually attracted, but Ace in them challenges, Ace enjoyed anybody giving him that in them challenges. So it's like, can you really state that? It's probably you wanted him. That's just really what it was. You wanted to pull him off of Chelley, and it didn't work. Even after doing all of that, it still didn't work. Still didn't work.
I will challenge you on.
Yeah.
You said you felt uncomfortable
Yeah.
during. You looked into it.
I looked into it. And don't get me wrong, I was smacking the basketballs and shit. I
looked
understood.
into it to me.
And I completely get that. I get that. But again, I'm going into it with the mindset of it's a challenge and everybody's just trying to have fun and do that shit. Sure. But again, I completely can see how that looks and why I should be held accountable. But trust me, Chelley done went through all the motions with me with regard to that.
Huda, coming out of the villa now, is amongst the most popular.
Yeah.
Her follower counts, I think, surpass everyone else who's on the show.
Yeah.
Her fan base is very loyal.
Yeah.
Psychotic, racist, state all of that. They ain't right in the head.
Do you feel as though these friendships that she has outside of the villa with the other islanders are organic?
I feel as our time in the villa, everybody went through the same experience, you know, in some shape or form. As far as dealing with Huda, everybody went through the same experience with that. Everybody was adamant on telling their opinions about her, and to come out and everybody sees just a little bit of clout, you know, new friendships form and new things don't want to get spoken on because they don't want to be attacked by a certain.
This is also what I was talking about with Nick. Let me tell y'all this. He got out that live that he had with Bryan. This is what I'm talking about, him being performative, which is a red flag. That live that he had with Bryan, he said somebody asked him or some shit about does he feel like Huda was ganged up on. He said yes. What do you mean? And then that's what tripped me out too, is how this is what I really state a lot of people are overlooking when it comes to him and trying to make him out to be innocent. This really rubbed me the wrong way, and it still rubs me the wrong way. You knew, because you was with Olandria getting out of the show. As Olandria told us on the reunion, the shit with the George Floyd stuff and the racism that was happening, she told Huda to put that post out before they left Fiji. Yet you still are following Huda. Olandria unfollowed Huda after the podcast episode dropped. He still was following her. Me, this is what I state when it comes to him being a white man, being attached to a black woman, actually being with a white woman, a black woman now, being a white man. You now have a different level of responsibility of protecting her. So if she, especially in this situation, if she ain't following her, you don't need to be following her. If she ain't cool with her, you don't need to be cool with her. Because she is dangerous because she's got a bunch of people that she can speak out to stop, and she don't give a fuck. So you still associating with her, that is scary to me. That is dangerous because you're with a woman, but you're sitting here still being cool with a woman that is A-okay with fucking with your girl's mental health, allowing other people to state and spew racist rhetoric towards her. Absolutely not. And for him to then unfollow her after the reunion had aired, you sat there during that whole reunion and watched what had happened, and that was 2 weeks before the reunion aired. You unfollowed her the night of the reunion. That is weird to me. That's that shit that I'm like, how are y'all overlooking that? How are y'all overlooking that? Because when Ace states what he states about him in a minute, that's what I went back to. And I'm like, Ace could be a lot of things, but the facts are the facts. When you look at certain shit, it's like, yeah, some of that stuff maps out. I'm like, that right there is what blew me with him. And it goes back to the Taylor stuff. Sitting on that Keke Palmer podcast and letting Taylor talk crazy. You're not gonna do that. Like me, my girl, you're not gonna sit and talk crazy about her with me sitting there. You're not gonna talk about my mama like that. You're not gonna talk about my cousins like that. You're not gonna talk about my sister like that. No. So you gotta speak up. And people say, well, oh, it's new to him. Okay, it might be new to him, but you gotta start doing stuff. Just how you out here taking her out on these trips and stuff. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be out here making her dreams happen, but you're also supposed to be protecting her. And that's a part of protecting her. And you have to speak up. And if you don't start doing that, then it's a problem, which kind of aligns with what Ace is stating when it comes to like doing certain things behind closed doors, but not doing it in public. And that's where I talk about the people pleasing stuff. He don't want to talk about it in public because he knows Huda has all of that shit going on. But you, as a white man, you have a level of privilege that can go another way because you at the top. Olandria's at the bottom. We all know the most hated person in America is the black woman. You are the most prized possession. You a white man. So you got to start using your voice. That's what I feel. Let me see what y'all saying, because Lord Jesus. Let me see. You can't be neutral. Exactly. You can't. Not in that situation. Right. We're honest and saw Huda for the most popular decided to exactly. You can't do that. You cannot do that. He waited for the reunion to drop. Exactly. That's that stuff I'm like, That's why I saw where Ace was putting down. But Olandria is grown and she can check Nick. She can, but if you're her man, you gotta do that. This is different. She shouldn't even have to tell him to do that. You should know. If you're an ally, like he claims he is, you should know, okay, well, I'm white. I'm a white man. My voice is a lot more valued than hers. Let me start speaking up. You got to do that. You got to do that. Same woman, Nicolas, white man, he has to be careful with how he moves. He cannot make the same moves as everybody else. No, he can do that stuff. He's not a minority at all. He can speak up. The people that have to be careful with how they're being perceived are Olandria, Ace, Black people. We can't walk around and do stuff that other people get to do without being reprimanded for it. So he has to speak up. There's no, in my opinion, there's no excuse for it. See what y'all saying. Let me just get on down real quick. I understand you, but Olandria is grown and can okay, I just read yours. She got to do more than that. She can't do that though. It's not her responsibility to tell him to do that. The whole cast sucks besides Chelley and Iris. Don't come from me. Really? I don't think those ones in particular. Well, Chelley, I love Chelley, but Iris, yeah, you got to stand up. That's what I've been dying to state though. That's what I've been dying to state. If y'all been following my social media, that's what I've been meaning about people not really talking about the real when it comes to him. That stuff is what I've been talking about. I've been sitting watching it. And I'm like, and I don't even follow Nick, but I see that shit. I'm like, that's not okay. You gotta start speaking up. I understand it might be different, it might be new to you. I don't know if he's dated a black woman in the past, but like with you being with one now and in the public eye, as much as you are, as popular as y'all are, there's going to be people, there's a lot of people, as they know, that support them. There's going to be also a lot of people that don't support them. And those people that don't support them, there's going to be a lot of those people that are like them hood rats that are looking to literally come for Olandria because she's with you. It's your responsibility to make sure that she is protected, and that means being more vocal, which is what Ace is about to talk about later on. And he has to be more vocal because he sat there at their reunion and barely said anything. And y'all saw that whenever they asked that question about how Nick and Taylor felt about a situation, I forget exactly what it was. I just followed Ace. That's the problem. We need to hear what you think. State your opinion for real, for real. Like you gotta speak up. He's changed and give him grace. I can't give him grace with that. You got to stand up now. There's no waiting. You got to stand up now. That's a different situation. When it's racism, you got to stand up. You got to stand up. You got a black woman on your arm. You got to stand up. But let's go because we're going to be seeing here for
fan base. Me, I don't give a damn, respectfully. So if you're going to speak on something, stand by that in the villa and outside the villa. You don't got to be friends with anybody to get a, what's the word?
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash.
How do you know that though? How do you know that though? But at the reunion is one thing, but also on social media, he ain't doing it. I ain't really seen him really denounce it like that for real, for real. Like you gotta really stand up. Like he sat there, like I just stated, he sat there and responded to a comment on a live and basically stated that Huda was ganged up on. And who do you think they asked that question in reference to? They're talking about Chelley and Olandria, and he knew that. He knew that. So for you to sit there and state that she was ganged up on when you know she wasn't, and he did that shit on the show too. Like you know that's not the case. So why are you sitting there doing? You're doing that because you're pandering to the audience. That's that shit that rubs me the wrong way. Yeah. Like not just exactly. And I stated that on social media. Provide a safe space for her. Like I can tell you're doing that to a certain degree, but you gotta fully provide that safe space for her. It's great that you out here spoiling her. It's great that you out here getting her out here places like she stated she wants to go to Europe and you immediately made it happen. Love that. I love that. That's what I want to see. You got her modeling now. Love that. Want to see that. That's what she deserves. But most importantly, all of that good stuff is good. But what's most important is protecting her peace. And if you're not protecting her peace, that's a problem. That's a problem. If you're with that woman, you have to make sure that she is okay. You got to protect her. That is your responsibility. Like there's no way around giving somebody grace. You got to step up now. You got to. Exactly. Exactly. Which is good. Like, and you can tell he is, but you got to do more. You got to do more. Yeah. Let's keep it moving.
It's going or allegiance going, you know, with certain islanders to step your shit up. Honestly, go put in the work and build your own following. You don't gotta be friendly with somebody to, you know, do all that. But that's just me, respect.
That's true.
Based on what you're saying there, what is your relationship with Huda now?
We don't have a relationship, honestly. It's just certain things I don't respect, and I'm guaranteed there's certain things she probably don't respect from me, and we just see it as that. But
what don't you respect?
I just didn't respect how she was moving, as far as like, you know, either being sneak comments or just, you know, her demeanor, or just, you know, certain things that's just as a person I didn't respect it. You know?
I want to talk about your height.
Yeah.
You are, how tall are you?
5'6".
You know, some could argue I'm 6'6", you know, 6'5", you know, things like that. But you know, I like to keep myself at a humble 5'10".
Okay.
Yeah.
It seemed to be a conversation that took place a lot.
Yeah.
He ain't no damn 5'10". I'm 5'9". He is not 5'10". He is not 5'10". Ain't no way.
Over the course of the season, it was like discourse. I even saw videos of people trying to calculate your height.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this. They were like, he took a picture on this train platform and based off the measurements of this and this and this and this. What was it like coming out and seeing the reaction to
I will say my favorite memes are like the little man memes.
When they shrink you?
Yeah, oh my gosh, that shit is comedy. And then I seen one picture, oh my gosh, they had me at the villa and my feet wasn't even touching the floor. Like,
no, I will say there was a time when you guys sat on the couch, right?
Right.
And I think this part of the couch was so long that it looked like your feet were like this.
Right, yeah.
And they weren't touching the floor.
Well, people,
on that couch, that's when you actually look short.
And what people don't understand, it's some giant ass furniture. Nah, bro, but like, when I see all the memes, I'll be dying laughing with them. And I save some when I send them to the homies and shit like that again. Like my favorite meme is like the one with my feet just hanging off the couch.
Just
like,
dangling.
Yeah.
That shit is hilarious.
Right, just dangling and, you know, like damn near off an edge at that point. But
I'm glad he laughing it off, but you know that shit bothers
because
me.
when people see me in person, they're like, damn, they did you wrong on the show, yo.
Like you actually are, project.
Right, exactly. But again, I encourage all of it because at the end of the day, you still got my name in your mouth and you still pushing my algorithm. So I appreciate the hype conversation.
The premise of Love Island is to find a connection.
Yeah.
To find love.
Yeah.
To find and build a real relationship.
Yeah.
You did that, and then you got dumped from the island.
Mm-hmm.
What was your reaction to that?
Finally, honestly, like I was ready to go home week 2, and I made that known to everybody that I'm not feeling this whole entire experience. But
what you mean finally though? Because you wanted to win. You wanted to win, Ace. You wanted to be there all the way through the end.
Really, the whole experience taught me how to really form a connection with somebody, go through the ups and downs, and really just take shit head on in relationships. I'm so used to, you know, all right, you know, if I want to go, I'm dipping, you know what I mean, and keep it peak. But this whole entire experience taught me how to grow with somebody through the rights, the wrongs, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything, you know. And once I found that person who I feel I could share that with, I was ready to go home. I could give a damn about the prize, could give a damn about the recognition. You know what I mean? What we had, it was real.
Y'all believe he could give a damn about that prize and the recognition? It's coming from a Leo to a Leo. We don't do a competition show and don't not want to win. Like me, if I ever get on a reality TV show, you know I'm there to win. I'm there to win. If I don't win, I'm mad. It is in our blood. Leos, we are known to want to win. We want to win. You lying?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like the other Islanders felt like the correct couples made the finale?
The conversations have been behind closed doors that certain couples shouldn't have been in the Final Four. And when we get in front of cameras, you know, especially at the reunion, they didn't show this clip, but it happened, is, oh, the Final Four should have been the Final Four, and everybody who got voted to the Final Four should have been there. And, you know, it's crazy because it's supposed to be your friend in the process saying that. And
I don't doubt this. I do believe he's telling the truth here. I do believe. I can see Nick doing it. I can see Nick saying that behind the scenes and then saying that on camera. I can. Y'all might not like hearing it, but I can.
Said that.
Nick. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick said, oh no, the Final Four that America voted for was the correct Final Four, excluding you and Chelley.
Right.
Interesting.
Which is perfectly fine.
Shout out to my favorite Leo, Jamie. That's me. Go subscribe. You already are. Jamie hit 100K this week. Was it this week? I think it was this week. If it wasn't this week, it was last week.
But it's like, that's not the conversations that we have behind closed doors.
Right.
And again, we get in front of cameras. And
that's not what you said to me.
Exactly.
Do you find that happened frequently with people? Like they would say one thing and then in front of the cameras,
yeah.
be a different
I feel like majority of the cast, though, it was like that. Like I've had people's backs with no loyalty towards these people. I still had your back in the process. And you get in front of cameras and it's either silence or you
Not you threatening to fade me down and then send me a super chat. Shout out to you, D. What is that? Lababu is mad. What is it? Oh, is that Haitian or terminology? I don't know. You tell me. It's mad that Nick said that I guess all the couples deserve to be in the finals because America voted for him. He's a loser. You are not like shady. Why you gotta be shady? Nick said that he respects America's vote. He said that, well, he never said that all should be there. Gotcha. What's up, twin? Yeah, that's Jamie in the chat. Jamie in the chat.
Something else that you know is not what it is behind the scenes, and it's okay.
At some point, it appeared as a viewer that there was a cold sore breakout in the villa at some point. Did that happen?
I ain't get no cold sore.
Did you see cold sores in there?
A couple of them.
How did you, with so much kissing about, how did you not get one?
He said a couple of cold sores. The only ones that I saw with a cold sore was me. So who else had a cold sore? Do y'all see somebody else have a cold sore?
How did I not get one?
When I was watching, I'm looking, I'm like, wait a second, what is that there? And then I thought I saw,
Yeah. Shit. For me, again, I'm very clear. I don't give a damn if we're on the show. I'm asking, yo, do you have anything to let me know or stuff like that? But you ain't seen no cockroaches around my lips. So
these are some serious questions.
Cool. My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep.
Somebody said yuck mouse. Oh shit! Why do I keep forgetting to put the mute off?
Questions. Cool. And I'm hoping you're going to be honest with these.
I've been honest since day one.
Honest is the wrong word.
Sir, you lied so many times in this week. You told some truths, but you definitely lied a couple times in here, sir.
You've been honest, but there are certain things that you've withheld and have spoke carefully about. And these are some questions that I want to give you the opportunity to speak bluntly and openly to the extent that you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Starting with this, Chelley and Olandria were said to have been bullies. That's a narrative that we.
Now this also, even it's like I can see why people aren't really on this because what he did earlier was damaging and dangerous. But he is the only person that gave a genuine defense to Chelley and Olandria in reference to this bullying shit. Like his answer here made me very proud to hear. If he didn't do what he did earlier, I don't feel like we probably would have had as much backlash. But yeah, his response here, I loved hearing this.
Saw unfold on the internet. I did not see that whatsoever. Yeah. You were in the villa. I was not. Did you find Chelley and Olandria to be bullies, particularly to Huda?
I feel like throughout that entire time in the villa, Olandria and Chelley held themselves up like the queens that they are. I feel like the Black people on the show found themselves being therapists to other people's couples. And that was the toughest thing for me because, again, a lot of the shit I didn't give a damn about to talk with somebody else. Of course, I'll care. Of course, I want to be there for somebody. But I'm here to find my own connection, respectfully. And being that that's the case, I feel like they were put in a situation to where they had to constantly not lash out because they were going to be looked at crazy. But in the real world, like, this is some lash out type of shit. Sure. You know what I mean? And for them, I feel like they did the best that any woman or Black woman could do, especially like being in that villa, and they held it down. And I would support anything that they do.
So no bullying?
No bullying. None of that.
None. Do you feel like the narrative that was painted around you, Olandria, and Chelley specifically, what?
I mean, you got a point, but when he did speak, he spoke. So you're right. I mean, he definitely could have used his social. Did he? Because that's the thing. Did he really even speak? I don't know if he spoke out about it, but I'm trying to think. Did he? Did he even speak out about it? Graphic, what it do? But yeah, I mean, he definitely could have spoke. He definitely could have said that a little bit. Yeah, I don't think he said anything to this degree earlier. So yeah, you might be right. You might be right. But yeah, I like the fact that he said
the way it was because of your racial identity. Do you feel like because you're a Black man, because they're Black women, the edits that you guys got was different than your counterparts that are not Black?
I'll say this. For me, as a Black man, I know I constantly have a target on my back, and I got to be okay with that. But in this situation, I don't want to play the...
You ain't got to be okay with it because I ain't okay with it.
Oh, I'm Black, so that's why they're painting me this way, because I don't ever want to move throughout life like that with the whole victim mentality. But what I will say is it was a lot of consistency amongst, Black couples, amongst, Black people in general throughout this whole entire process. And you got to just take that on the chin. I feel like as Black people every day, we take shit on the chin and we just keep the shit moving because that's how we were raised to be. We can't dwell on the past. We can't dwell on what we haven't been given, what we haven't earned, or we have to earn damn near everything in this life. And I feel like we've been doing a good job of trying to keep a cool, level head and not letting anybody get us bent out of shape, you know?
Olandria,
That is true. That is 100% true. Which is why, like I said, if I ever got on TV, I can't, because my parents growing up, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of tea on me. Growing up, as cool and calm as I am here, people always give me props on me being super calm, super level-headed. I love it because that's just proof of the growth that I've that I've experienced within myself and the work that I put in myself. Because when I was 18, I say from 18 to 21, maybe 22, Grant was off the handles. Like, you look at me wrong, you getting cussed out. You might get hit. So when it came to like work and stuff, like when I say like I would literally, you couldn't talk to me crazy because I'm gonna respond to you. Even if you was my boss, you was my manager. My parents got nervous because I done got fired from a couple jobs because of my mouth, because I don't handle disrespect well. So growing up, that's what it was. So if I got on a TV show and somebody pissed me off, I can't tell you that Grant would be thinking, okay, you black. Even if you right in the situation, they still gonna paint you as the villain. I might just stand in that villain role, but he ain't lying in that term. Like, we have to think about other things that other people don't. Jamie, exactly. There was no consistency there. None. He said all the black couples had consistency. No. That y'all, you and Chelley, I mean, can you even call that consistent though? I guess you can, because like you would step out, she would stay where she was at, you would come back and you would do the same thing over and over again. So I guess there's a little bit of consistency there. But Taylor and Olandria, there was no consistency there. He is messy. I ain't hear the government name. Who, me? Ace is speaking facts, but Ace didn't protect Olandria in this interview or the video. He blew up her spot. And yeah, we talked about that earlier. That's why I don't get why Ace didn't tell Olandria that instead of having beautiful black women looking crazy, he told her. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But let's keep it
on the
going.
reunion that she was the target of racial epithets and blatant racism.
Yeah.
She pressed Huda on the fact that Huda did not intervene. Do you feel like Huda could have stopped the racism that Olandria was receiving?
Coming out the villa, I don't be on social media often. But when I do scroll on social media, certain shit will pop up on my For You page. The blatant racism that Olandria had endured and Chelley had endured was completely out of pocket. And the comment section was nothing but Huda this, Huda that, Huda this, Huda that, Huda this, Huda that. And I feel like
Exactly. That's why it was her responsibility to speak up. But her not speaking up is proof that she didn't care. She liked it. She wanted it. That's what she wanted, which proves to me that she is very much like her people. Like, and her response to them, that's what pissed me off. Y'all didn't watch my recap, you ain't see it, but I was hot. Her response to Landria telling her that she faced racism, and she said, well, I did too. But I experienced it too. Are you fucking stupid? That's all the reason for you to speak out against her, because you know what it feels like. But that proves that you wanted that. That's what you wanted. That's why you didn't speak out, because you wanted to keep going and get a little bit harder.
With the shit I've seen, Huda has made it a point to stand on business. I remember she had went on a stream. It popped up on my For You page. She went on a stream and she was misinterpreted about kicking some people out of the room. She made a post immediately that that wasn't the case to clear her name. You just spent 6+ weeks with these women who are facing backlash amongst racist.
Oh, I need to put that on a shirt. Silence is violence. That's what I said when I said about Nick. Speak up, because you can't be quiet.
As people, and the comments are spamming nothing but your name. If I were you, I would make it a point to be like, look, I don't stand for none of that shit, because you had the capacity to do it. And you've done it time and time before.
But you chose not to do it.
And chose not to. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, she didn't post it, so I feel like that's a sucky way to go through our life. If my girl had made a post saying, I don't stand for hate, I stand for peace, and same thing with Olandria, I feel like the least Huda could have done was that. She didn't do that. And it's okay, but again, that's where I feel like they were right to separate themselves from Huda and that friendship and just let it be what it is from a distance.
Today, as Ace, who would you consider to be your friend from the villa?
Who I consider to be my friend is the people who support me out loud.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. That's what I expect from my friends. If you can't be as loud as you are privately behind closed doors with me when I'm winning out in public, you can't be my friend. But with Ace stating that, Ace don't be realizing, he be stating truths, but then it's like he contradicts himself because he wants people to be loud and proud about his successes, but as y'all stated, Nicolandria is having their successes, and he kind of low key shitting on it on here. So it's like he looking contradictory.
And
who are those
closed
people?
doors. Olandria, obviously me and Chelley more than friends. And Taylor.
That's it.
Bryan calls to check in on me from time to time to make sure I'm straight. And that's it.
So me asking you who your friends are, and you name Olandria, Taylor, and maybe Bryan. The glaring omission there is Nick.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong.
I didn't plan to, but we can. You just gotta remind me when we finish.
Like, me and Nick are cool, but like to say we.
Hold on, I keep pausing. He definitely is a scammer. Y'all told me he had me fooled. I ain't gonna lie to you. He definitely had me fooled. But the thing is, I don't care though. Like I told y'all, even though I wanted him to win, I didn't give a fuck. But I'm mad though. I will tell y'all this here. I definitely regret not voting for Nick and Olandria to win. Even though I'm not so like y'all are. I've been trying to force myself to see what y'all see. But I just respectfully don't. I wish no ill will. I hope everything that y'all see is in fact true, and I would love for it to be good and then to ride off in the sunset. But me personally, I just don't see it, honestly. But I would have, if I could go back, I would have definitely voted for them to win. Like I really wanted to vote really for Landry to win, but I fucked up, and I will admit it. I fucked up because Bryan nor Amaya should have got that money. Amaya stands for racism. And she proved it at that reunion because for her to sit there and basically co-sign Huda's bullshit, beat her names to back her narratives that she's trying to push, disgusting. I unfollowed her immediately. I'm pissed. No, leave me alone, Birdie. Don't. I told y'all not to jump me. Yeah, he admitted. I saw that shit where he liked it. Respectfully, I'm in the Olandria nation. I'm all for Olandria. Nick did speak up for him and Chelley, but he can't expect Nick to tell everybody to their face, and they didn't deserve to be in the top four just to coddle Ace's feelings. Yeah. I know, Jazz, and I fucked up. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't see it either. I don't care if Bryan's skin that color is somebody. I know at this point, I don't care. She got what she deserves. Nicolandria also speaks kindly about him and Chelley is also makes it yikes. Yeah. Yeah. That's why. Shout out to you for the super chat, Lillian. That's why I don't understand why people compare Huda and Leah. Exactly. Leah might be some things, but Leah don't stand for that bullshit. Leah immediately gets on her social media to denounce any type of racism towards Serena and Janae. Leah, that's a true, you want to talk about an ally, but Leah's a person of color too, so she's experienced racism. I'm pretty sure she has. So that's just proof of what you can do when you have experienced shit like that. And not only just that, you don't have to experience it to denounce the shit. Like, listen to who the people that you claim that you care about. If they're telling you about some certain shit and you see it, and you don't use your voice, you're a liability. You're dangerous. I love y'all, man. I love y'all. Let's go.
Are super, super close, like we were in the villa. It's not the case, because again, certain instances, I take a look at it for what it is. Coming out this villa, I've seen a lot of people not stand behind what they say and let narratives continue to spin. The people who stood on what exactly happened in the villa after having all the conversations said today, so when this interview drops, this is who my current people who are close to me. I respect Olandria, I respect Chelley.
Nigga, if you respected Olandria, you wouldn't have did what you did out here. It's like, damn, damn, like, it's like, damn, like, it kills me. It kills me. I told you, Jamie. I told Jamie. I said, Jamie, look. I haven't watched it yet. I'm probably drop the recap tomorrow. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Yeah. When you think about it, Taylor, it's just like, bro.
I respect Jeremiah, I respect Bryan, and I respect Taylor. I'm not super, super close with everybody like that.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket and choose up to 4 NFL games to watch live at the same.
Coming outside the villa, because I just see certain things on the internet which I don't respect. And I know you probably about to ask me about the whole Nick is not a part of that equation. It's just, again, certain things I don't rock with. I feel like if you're my friend behind closed doors, you're gonna be my friend in public.
Sure.
And
I agree with that.
We all have fun, we joke, we troll. I seen he did a whole tattoo thing, funny as hell. But when it comes to the serious shit regarding my character, that's the things I take serious.
And you feel like he didn't stand up for you. And
you know what? I don't disagree with this, Taylor. I know how we Leos can be. I know. But I don't like a yes man. So I'm one of them Leos that's not like that. But I know a lot of us like somebody that backs everything we say. Some of my best friendships are the ones where I don't disagree, or that we disagree on certain things, not big things that you should be aligned with. Like me and Elise from TikTok and the one that's done the lives with me on here. We don't always see eye to eye on certain shows, but we have good conversations talking about certain things. And that's what I like with people that don't always see your perspective on certain things. Because sometimes they might see something that you might not see that you might need to see. So to have somebody like Taylor who don't really have no opinion of his own, that's not a benefit to you. And I am a July Leo, like on the cusp. I was supposed to be born August 2nd, but I was born July 29th. He respected the Landry. He would have never socially sacrificed her in this feud. Exactly. I agree. They should have kept that shit off of social media.
Or
if it was a beef, keep that shit between y'all.
Silence narratives when he had the
and
opportunity.
I told him that. I told him, I said, yo, I feel like the answer that you gave was just mad PR, and I didn't respect it. And he was like, well, I'm pretty much over it. So I was like, okay, cool.
He said, I'm pretty much over it?
Yeah, I'm pretty much over the whole thing. Like, so like for me, this is my life, respectfully.
Right. It's not something for you to just be over when I'm receiving these narratives and it's then going to dictate what my future looks like. And he's just over it.
Yeah.
With that being said, do you feel like Olandria and Nick's relationship is real? Is this you thinking, or is this your answer?
He know that's his answer. He should have just said no comment, or if he didn't, because his response without the actual words, body language speaks. I'm the king of reading body language. I told y'all in the damn reunion, I was literally watching everybody's body language because it tells the story. Like how Bryan and Amaya was up there giving us a bunch of bullshit, fake laughs, and his eyes going all over the place. Body language speaks. We know you lying when you lying. I'm sitting here smirking and shit like you don't believe it. You don't believe it now. But it's like, and I see where y'all coming from. Like, even if what he's stating is true, you look phony though, because you was up there cheering for that shit. That video at Disneyland, you was all for it. And it's like, I see where y'all coming from when it comes to thinking like, is he doing this because they have popularity? Because it's like at that point, you was jumping for joy when it was beneficial, I guess, to you. But when it's not anymore, now it's a problem. So like, was it really real then, or was it real? Is it no longer real now? I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. But let's keep it going.
I'm gonna assume that that's your answer.
Mm-hmm.
And Speedy laughing though, because I ain't watched Speedy all season when it comes to like his takes on it, but I've seen a lot of people saying that he's not a fan of Nicolandria. So him laughing, I know that rubbed a lot of y'all Nicolandrians wrong.
For you, because Olandria is someone that you consider to be a close friend?
Yeah. Yeah, it really is tough for me. Because again, we just, like, she just came out here for Chelley's birthday, and we all spent time together at the club, and we all kicking and shit like that. So I have a lot of respect for Olandria.
And that's what y'all was talking about earlier. Like, if you got respect for her and you knew all of this shit and y'all was kicking it at the club, I hope you had this conversation with her. But then again, looking at her tweet whenever the shit was posted on the Shade Room, it don't seem like she knew this, which you don't have respect for her. Because if you had respect for her, you would have told her that. So if it was true, you would have told her that not only just then, if you knew this then, back when you stated the last conversation, you should have had that conversation with her. You should have been jumping for joy, acting like what was going on was real for real, if it was really real for real, or if it wasn't really real. It's weird shit. It's like Ace be saying certain stuff that I definitely see, but it's like he contradicts himself every time he states a fact.
Again, from the last conversation that I've had with, Nick, it was a matter of it's not a romantic spark. They just, you know what I'm saying? They find each other attractive.
Nick and Olandria's relationship, you've expressed in silence, you've expressed your opinions on that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the other relationships that have come from Love Island are real?
Yeah, Taylor and Clarke. I know that's for sure real.
Do y'all think Taylor and Clarke is real? I think Clarke likes Taylor. I think Taylor likes Clarke to a certain extent. I think Clarke can do so much better. So much better. I know if she opens up her DMs, she probably got some ballers up in her DMs. Like, leave Taylor. Where he at? I saw somebody said it. Where is it? Where'd it go? No, I saw somebody say what I thought I saw somebody say, but they ain't say it. Clarke needs to leave. She do. Get up out of there, Clarke. We never said that it was fake. Clarke like that money. Okay. Real corny and cringy. Right. You talking about me or you talking about Ace? Because I definitely took mine back. I think Taylor likes Clarke and vice versa. Ace loves trying to humiliate her. Yep, real terrible. No, Clarke is. She definitely does. That's what I say. I said the same thing. She look like she need to be courtside at somebody basketball game. She gives basketball wife. But let's keep it going.
And the other ones, not so much, or? Do you think people are aware of the benefits to being in a relationship coming out of it?
100%. 100%. I feel like when people come out this villa and they see, a certain community rocking behind, certain.
If you want to build an app and have no idea how to code or where to start, check out
ships. They're like, okay, let's take advantage of that type of thing. And this is like, you're going to face yourself in a world of problems, i.e. breaking up, i.e., arguments, i.e. now you got to put on the front for the public, like you rock with your partner still and you want to go explore other people in real life, you know what I mean? So that's on them that they're going to have to face at the end of the day.
Yes, I saw this. That's right. And that's another reason why I feel like he didn't go for Olandria. I'm not blurry y'all. Olandria wouldn't stand for that shit. Clarke need to get up out of there. He wouldn't dare try and do that shit to Olandria. I know that much. He wouldn't even do it to Coco. Like, because that childlike feeling, she gives me a childlike feeling because she ain't gonna stand up for your bullshit. Like, that's why Olandria cussed his ass out when she had that opportunity. So it was a light cuss out too. She didn't even really tear him up like she could have and probably wanted to. Nick never spoke negatively on Chelley's and when is it? This is Ace lashing out. Now, I think it could be a little bit of both. But I definitely think he lashing out for sure.
I don't move like that, and that's why I was very intentional with my time in the villa because I knew, obviously
LA.
coming outside, people are going to have opinions on relationships. So I'm going to be very, very, very intentional behind finding this relationship.
Coming out of the villa now, you and Chelley seem to be in a very happy situation. Yeah. Is it safe to call that a relationship? Is that your girlfriend?
Not yet. But the thing is, when people was, going back and forth of, hey,
I wonder how you can be in love with somebody and not already call them your girlfriend. That I don't get. Like, if you can say you in love with her, you should be ready to propose at that point. I know that's fast to get to that point. But if you really stating that you in love with her already after a month, get the ring out. Get the ring out. Which is why you're not helping your case when they start stating that y'all scamming. Because if I'm in love, I'm proposing. You my wife now. Like, at that point, I don't need nobody else in my face. Like, I already know you mine. So let's go get married and let's go do this thing together. Let me give you my last name.
He's scared of commitment. He's too young, yada, yada, yada. First off, number one, I feel like the whole age conversation is silly as fuck to me because I feel like I've been through a lot of shit that not the average child is going to go through. And it causes you to mature a little bit faster in this life. And respectfully, it's not other people's relationships, so they can mind their own damn business. And on top of that, as far as me asking her to be my girlfriend, I've never been pressed by no nigga, never been pressed by any woman in his life to do something I don't want to do. Unless we're talking about my time in this experience. You know what I mean? But
unless your conscience was
my conscience, was talking. But that's just been my MO. So I don't feel the need to have to come to whatever everybody else is saying to do. Yeah.
What now, Ace? What now? The Love Island experience, I'm sure based on how it seems you went through this, you're ready for this chapter of your life to be over. It seems. But what now? What's the next phase?
Honestly, what's next for me is putting God first, which I've always done throughout my whole entire life.
And I respect this too. And we know that to be true. He has, but get closer. But I love how he is. He definitely, you can tell he's a man of God. But you gotta get closer. Get closer. I'm trying to get closer every day. But yeah.
So I can have an idea of what I want to do as far as acting, modeling, working with certain brands, giving back to my community and still keeping those same values I had before going on to the show. Whatever God has planned for me, that's what I want to do. And whatever my path aligns with him, then we finna do.
Beautiful. Yeah. My last thing, and you can be honest, do you regret going on the show?
I don't regret my experience with Chelley. That's what I don't regret, is learning how to date someone outside of social media, ups and downs, things like that. I don't regret that portion of it. Everything else, 1,000%.
Is it, why?
Because for me, I wanted to go into this experience of, again, for me, throughout this whole entire experience, I didn't look at this as some type of show to go on. I look at this as a dating experience. And sometimes you forget while you're out in Fiji, it's a show. And they try and get you to get out that mindset of what's going on back home, what's going on in this thing. Because at the end of the day, the chick has to be entertained. I didn't sign up for the entertainment portion of it. I signed up to get to know someone full through and through. And to come out this experience and see, again, that wasn't the main focus. It was mainly focused on drama. And I felt like that being in there. I said, like, why do I always feel like I'm amongst this drama shit? Like, I don't even care enough to be in this conversation. I don't even care enough to talk about something else. But again, a lot of influence come to play. And when that's the case, I don't feel this is authentic to me. And I've been authentic since day one coming into there. I'm gonna be unapologetically me throughout this whole entire experience. And can't nobody in that villa who was actually there say Ace was faking it for this, Ace was faking it for that, because they know my character. I have no problems apologizing to people. I have no problem standing on business, admitting, like, look, I was wrong about this and this is how shit should go now. I have no problem speaking my mind. That's all I'm saying. I don't have no problem speaking on the real. And it seems like America had a problem with that. You know what I mean?
Y'all tearing him up in here. I had to pause it real quick. Because, yeah, I mean, he didn't come on there for the entertainment aspect. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Like, come on, you was out there performing. Like, and when I say performing, like, you was entertaining. You was entertaining. You definitely was entertaining, but you definitely was out there for the entertainment too. Like, the love portion, I don't know for sure. Like, you 22 years old. Like I said, at the end of the day, you got to be like a Cordell for me to believe that you really out there for love. Like, I stated it from the beginning. I was like, Ace is out there for the game. He out there for the game. But let him tell it. He there for
Just speaking
love.
on what it is. Fuck them. It's like when they asked me to come on the show, they knew everything that they were getting. They were getting a confident person who stands on business and expresses himself very clear and concise, and who's on here for the right reasons. Because you couldn't claim that I was on here for anything else. Looking at my portfolio,
right?
You can't. So being that that's the case, to see coming out that it was the complete opposite of my character, knowing that you asked me to be here, I feel some type of way. You know, especially when I'm the one helping with the chats. I'm the one getting everybody excited for challenges. I'm the one ringleading around this. You know what I mean? Like that.
You was ringleading. Don't put the air quotes in. Because you definitely was ringleading.
Security specialist.
Easy. That hurts.
Hold on, I see you down there. Where you at? Shout out to you for the super chat. NICOLANDRIA high, we ain't worried. We straight. Y'all, I know y'all are. I know y'all are.
And I'm facing a little bit of anxiety every single day, trying to make sure my family is straight. Damn about me, making sure they're straight. They get threats and emails at work and messages and shit that they don't deserve, that they didn't sign up for.
Right.
I signed up for this, knowing what possibly could be the outcome, and I was okay with it. Like, but it's still not to say I'm not a human. At the end of the day, like certain shit will affect me, but that's just adds to my testimony and who I am as a person. So I'm with all the growth throughout this experience.
I just want to let you know, like, objectively, I feel for you. And whenever you say an opinion, 50% of the world is going to disagree with you off the rip.
And I'm okay with that.
And so even after watching this, like, some people may still feel like, I still don't fuck with him.
Agreed.
And that's realistic to happen.
Not even close. Not even close. Olandria, I'm subscribed to Olandria, the NICOLANDRIA of it all. I'm just letting y'all get y'all rocks off. Because y'all love it. I don't care for it. That's the thing. And when I say I don't care for it, I ain't checking for it. I just stated my piece on it because I wanted to state my piece on it. But like I said, the NICOLANDRIA of it all, I personally, like I said, I don't personally see it. And that's okay. That's okay. But if it is good, I want it to be good for Olandria. I want it to be good for her, for real, for real. But if they end up riding off into the sunset like y'all think they are, good for them. Good for them. And I want them to be happy. So if they're going to be happy together, then great. As long as Olandria is good, that's all I care about. That's all I care about. And I love them too. Like that's what I want people to lay off of. Stop coming for Chelley. Like it's like a lot of people want them to be against each other. And I'm like, what happened to protecting Black women? Like, let's keep them at peace. Like, why try to turn them against each other? Like, I don't get that. The Nick comes with Olandria, so if you're Olandria Nation, you nope. I ain't can't nobody ring lead me. I'm Team Olandria Nation. That's it. I did. You missed it. Did y'all just coming in here? I've already told y'all I'm off of that. I told y'all I saw it for him, and I told y'all if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll admit to being wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. I saw. I had more hope for them than I probably should have. Amaya, she disappointed me at that reunion. I'm completely off of her. Bryan was cool, but Bryan did what Bryan did, so I don't really care in regards to that. But yeah, but I don't care. I wouldn't. I wouldn't like Nicolandria high for Amaya and Bryan. Like, even though I wanted them to win, I ain't give a fuck what happened after the show. Like, that's their business. They don't pay my bills. They ain't giving me none of that money, so I don't really care. Couples break up every day. Exactly. We delusional but not dumb. They broke up tomorrow, we would still be good. I'm glad you one of the ones. There's some of them out here that don't, that will trip out. Exactly, Jamie. Me and Jamie see eye to eye. Saddest part is that a lot of amount of black women that still exactly. I've seen a lot that have literally been going crazy on her this yesterday and today. Like, what? Ace you did not forget that she was on the show. Everyone came against him. Yeah. Did he say anything else in this? I think we almost done. Yeah, we almost done. Let's finish this.
But that's life though, Speedy. To me, I can state my opinion. Just let me be able to, or that's life. And I understand that. And I'm grateful that I'm here. And throughout this, right now, this interview with you, that the full thing is going to be told. Sure. That's all I ask for, is let the full picture be shown so people can understand where I'm coming from. If you disagree, completely understand. Right. Everybody has assholes. Everybody has opinions. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So,
but you're just saying, if you're going to judge me, watch the full thing.
Right.
And if you still don't agree with me, then fine.
That's
at least
cool.
It was a fair observation. But at least give me a fair shake.
And I feel like I got my fair shake amongst full opinions, especially when narratives are still being pushed, you know, by my fellow Islanders when they didn't have that energy when I was there. That's what hurts my feelings. But again, that's life. That's people. Cloud is a motherfucker. And me, that's been my whole personality. I ain't never been an internet ass nigga, respectfully. Like, I've been a person who's does social media, but that's not my personality. And when you see me in real life, come holler at me. I've never been a person who's like on some ego shit. Like, everybody can say whoever's met me, I ask them what their name is. Nice to meet you. Tell me about yourself. Like, we have real conversations on a pull-up if you want to. I've never been a person who's let quote unquote clout get to my head or let fame get to my head, because that's just not me. Like, the internet can love me tomorrow and hate me the very next day. And I'm walking testimony of that. I feel like my entire life before the villa, everybody just forgot everything that I've done. Go check my portfolio on what I've done. And that shit is for free. Out the kindness of my heart, because I just love doing what I do. When that is just excused and saying Ace is a hater, Ace is this, Ace is a ringleader, Ace is a bitch, I would never fuck with Ace, and yada, yada, yada. And I only got my own Islanders backing me up, knowing that wasn't the case there, hurts my feelings. But again, it's back to real life. Excuse the Hollywood shit, and I'm gonna be me regardless, and I will for sure not let my fate be determined by someone else's hands.
Damn.
And that's gonna be what it is.
That's real. That was a word right there. Ace, I appreciate you, man. Congrats.
And that just is what it is. What? How long is that Speedy interview live? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Is it on his TikTok? Hold on. Was he talking about Ace and them? Let's see. Was he on live or was it TikTok live? I don't know if I'm gonna find it. We ain't watching Taylor's. That shit too long. Too long. Let me see if I can find it. I know Jamie reacted to the other day. Look, there you go. Jamie, I'm about to put you up. I'm about to cue Jamie up because I know Jamie got it. Where is it at? Jamie, that's me. Shout out to Jamie, y'all.
Do you know what's really fun?
Because I want to hear that part too. Where Jamie had it at? She had it at the end, I think. Jamie, if you still in here, I'm giving you some promo. Here we go. Let's watch Jamie, y'all.
I want you all to consider.
Give me one sec, because I want to start that over. All right.
Want to answer the question? Great. If you don't want to answer the question, also great. Nobody's entitled or forced to have to answer any question. But here's what I do want to say, and this will be the last thing. I want you all to consider that maybe, just maybe, People are allowed to feel how they want to feel, especially when they have information that you don't have.
He ain't lying.
So today you may have seen a clip, or you may have seen a portion of an interview when someone was asked if they felt as if a relationship was real. And while you are absolutely entitled to have your opinion on that, I do want to say that some people may have more information than you have. They may know things that you don't know.
Sure.
They may be aware of things that transpired that you don't know. They may have seen and witnessed things that you have not seen. That's it. That's all I want to say. So you may see somebody say, or you may see somebody have an opinion on a relationship. I would just say maybe, just maybe, they know something that you don't. Because if what I was told off camera.
Now, this right here was messy. He didn't have to say this. He didn't have to say this because you know what you're doing by saying this. And like what y'all just stated, it made Ace look even worse because it pretty much is stating, okay, Ace told me some shit that's gonna really blow some shit up. That's low-key what he's kind of insinuating here, which I don't like. Because it's only gonna hurt Olandria at the end of the day.
It's true.
Stop it.
Exactly.
Stop. Wait. That's so goddamn messy, girl.
Exactly, Jamie. But that was crazy. That was crazy, y'all. His smiling. Yeah, you could tell what he was trying to do. And I ain't ever really seen Speedy to be like messy like that. Because I've watched some of his interviews and stuff, and I ain't really seen him acting like that. So that was, well, maybe I ain't seen a lot of it, but like Ace can feel however he wants to feel, but he still needs to be careful with how he moves if people don't get it. I agree with that. I agree with that. Speedy seems to not only dislike Nicolandria, but was not a fan of Olandria, which is weird. That's my girl. I love me some Jamie. I watch everything she posts. The fact that he didn't have to say that. Because your interview said enough. Like, you didn't have to add that to it. Because it's like, at that point, what are you trying to do? It's like, what are you trying to do? Amaya has some very interesting memes and posts. I know. And when you think about how she sat there and still is cool with Huda, that's where she really lost me. Because I'm like, you, and we know that she claims that she ain't watched the show, but she sat and watched a clip of Huda calling her a bitch and some shit, or like saying some slick shit about her at the reunion. And they're gonna turn around and claim that when Chelley, Nick, Cierra, and Taylor, I think it was, when they were sitting there talking about how Huda was acting, and then Huda sitting there posing because she think everything's about her, that was mean. Yet her calling you all things, everything but a child of God, that's not mean, but that's mean when it wasn't even mean. And then she said she was laughing. They some colorist comment too, like some years ago. But you sitting here backing a racist, in my opinion, allegedly, but not allegedly. It makes you look exactly the way she is, in my opinion. What you say, Kai? How you? I don't care. Pepe and Iris, like I told y'all, whenever they got together, it was to stay for the rest of the show. That's why they was trying to win. Yeah, men that act messy like that, you gotta watch out for it. Speedy's takes George in the section of black women. He's an enemy. Yikes. Yeah, it was weird. The whole thing was weird. I wish they would address his past tweets. Right. And they should have spent more time on Huda, the way she treated Jeremiah, verbally abusing him. They didn't spend enough time on that for me. They didn't spend enough time on her calling everybody out their names and basically terrorizing that entire villa. They didn't spend enough time on that, which pissed me off. I think Ace tried to separate Landry from his thoughts and Nick and Landry, but failed. Exactly. But you can't, when you try to take a shot at Nick in reference to the relationship, you can't miss Landry because she's involved in that. Y'all should not be calling Speedy a colorist, though. That's a reach. Yeah. Amaya is just more likable to face value. But when you sit and look at Amaya long enough, you see it. I know it's crazy. It's crazy because when we started this season, I was at like 8,100. So we getting up there, y'all. But we gonna be here. Like I told y'all, stay locked to the channel. Love Island Games. I'm ready for that to start so we can start talking about something else. But I'm really ready for Love Island season to finally end so we can get a 6-month break. Because I feel like it's needed. Like, it's too much shit going on right now. Look, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. She better not. She with Louis. So she shouldn't be qualified to. Or as many things if you say something, you have to have evidence. So, yeah, exactly. Uh, Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy, but we about to get up off of here, y'all. I've been on here almost 3 hours, y'all. I can't believe it. And my social battery is dead. The introvert is signing off. I'm sick of Love Island fans, toxic is baddies fans. Don't even get me started. That's why I don't even talk or watch that show anymore. But yeah, oh, I gotta get you for this super chat. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Speedy's consistent. Need to humble Landry is weird to me. What is the issue? It's kind of disturbing. Yeah, that is weird. And even talk about I know that too. That too. Because if it would have been anybody else, if it was him, what? What? No, where did I go? Off topic, but the shit is saying that Trump. It's time for me to go to bed. You know, Maya's Dominican, and they'll let you to Twitter. I know, black. You sound like Jane. What's her name? Jamila. Jamila said the same shit. But you ain't lying. You ain't lying. But shout out to y'all. As always, y'all show me so much love, and I am extremely, extremely, extremely appreciative. Y'all been showing me love all season. But like I stated, stay locked to the channel. We gonna be here for Love Island games. I got a lot of other stuff going on, so stay locked to the channel. Turn the post notifications on. If you haven't already, thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Drop them comments down below. Share the video. Subscribe if you're new. Do that for me as well. And I'm shocked I didn't get as much heat as I thought I was gonna get. I thought I was gonna get a bunch of heat. But y'all respect. That's why I love y'all. I was nervous. I'm like, is it a safe space considering how everybody been acting out here? Like, you can't talk about something real sometimes, but I know y'all a safe place. Yes. Thank you. Thank y'all for joining me. Shout out to y'all. I love y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I will see y'all when I see y'all. If y'all watch Beyond the Villa, I'm gonna watch it. We'll see what we got going on. I'll probably drop it tomorrow. But if you only watch me for Love Island, you'll see me in September. But if you watch everything else I got, stay locked. Stay locked. Thank you. Thank y'all. Exactly. Love y'all. And I'm signing off. Y'all have a good night. Peace. I'm about to watch this US Open. Bye.